This is a Miami Sports Music Podcast Network production.
I know the whole city riding. A little early, it's a bit surprising. Business moves, now we enterprising. Switch it up, now we improvising. Go to get in the winter column. Whole squad been trained to go. Fence for life, we throw the foe. Singing this just to welcome bro. To a time. Time to grind, time to shine. To a time.
What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? It is your boy, Stephen D, and we are live right here on the number one Miami fan morning show, Clock Blockers. What's up? How y'all doing? Super excited that y'all are here hanging out with me on the number one Miami fan morning show. It is good stuff here, man. Super excited that y'all are here. How y'all doing today? Y'all ready? It's Throwback Thursday. It's F the Jets week. Oh, I'm so excited. I'm sore. I golfed yesterday for like the first time in over a year. And let's just say I'm sore. Okay. My whole body is sore. We did a charity golf event yesterday, or at least I did, with another affiliation that I'm affiliated with. And whew, my whole body yesterday, just, man, I slept, no lie, came home after golfing all day, did a charity event. There was a reception afterwards. It was fun. We had a good time. And, you know, took a shower, crawled into bed, and I literally slept for like 12 hours, man. I'm just saying. It was not good. It was not good. I needed it. My whole body was like, all right, you need to take a rest. So, but yeah, man, I'm here. I'm ready to go this morning. Good morning to everybody. My Finlaws, my family. It is, everybody said it's about to be Wildin' Out Thursday. I know. You guys missed me yesterday. I get it. I understand. No Wildin' Out Wednesday. But today is Thursday. It's Throwback Thursday. We're going to have a great show lined up for you today. I got a lot of stuff coming up over the next week. I'm going to tell you all about that. That's going to be so much fun. If you're going to be in the New York City area this weekend, MetLife takeover, I'm going to tell you about that. It's going to be good. Again, my name is Stephen D. You can follow me on all social media platforms at Stephen D. SKPL spread. And I can say every reason awesome. Like it when stuff works the way it's supposed to work. And I'm being very sarcastic right now because stuff is not working the way it's supposed to work. So I don't know if you can see me or not, but we're going to find out here. Let's see here. What is going on here? I love when stuff works the way it's supposed to work. Can you all see me? I'm on the internet. I'm connected. It's secured. It says I have a strong thing. Okay. I don't know what's going on. Anyways, I'm back. I'm not breaking up anymore, right? Good? Okay. All right. I don't know what was going on there, but I'm here now. Again, you can follow me on all social media platforms at Stephen D. SKPL. Spread kindness, positivity, and love. You guys can do that on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter. That would help me out tremendously. Follow Miami Sports Music on all social media aspects at Miami Sports Music, and on Twitter at Miami Sports Music, or at MIA Sports Music, excuse me. Hey, on your way in, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Are you not subscribed already? I'm talking to you. You, right there, watching now. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. We are less than 600 subscribers away from 10,000. Can we get that in the next couple of weeks? Can we get 600 plus subscribers in the next couple of weeks? You know how we do that? With you, the fans. You, talking about you, the one that's watching right now. You literally, all you need to do, okay? Here, I'm gonna tell you what you need to do. Okay, this link that I'm about to drop in the chat, you're going to text it to everybody that you know right now. Text it. Text it to everybody you know. Say, hey, look, go subscribe on YouTube to this channel. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe. It all helps. That's how we get to 600 people, with y'all sharing it and letting people know about us. I see a couple people have already shared the link on Twitter this morning. Thank you all. Alan M., shout out to you, big guy. I'm even going to retweet your tweet. That's how awesome you are. So, yeah, that's the way it works. Also, hey, look, you want to sign up and become a member today, become part of the family? Well, there's a few different ways you can do that. You can join this channel to get access to perks and stuff like that. And you can do that right here. Okay. Join the channel to get access to perks. Make sure y'all do that. Sign up to become a member today. Hey, look, also, you want to help the channel grow by donating? Lots of different ways you guys can do it. You can donate to the channel by using Cash App or PayPal, or you can use the YouTube Live Super Chat. The YouTube Live Super Chat is the $ in the bottom of the chat box that has a rectangle around it. You guys can click that. I don't care if it's $1. It goes such a long way into helping the channel grow. That's how, we help grow. We're able to do fun events and go to places so that we can put on amazing stuff for you. Look, the equipment, the service fees, the monthly service fees, all that's where it goes to. It's a lot of stuff. And I use the money that you give me to help be able to do those events and buy all the stuff that I need to buy and all the equipment. And so help the channel grow by donating. We're only going to get bigger as you go. I'm trying to bring in more people. I want to bring in more people. I'm actively recruiting. I'm working on a big project right now. And so when you guys donate, it helps. Okay. So just know that. All right. What else? What else we got, man? Hey, there's the Cash App and PayPal right there. The QR code's right on the screen. You can use that. Okay. Also, hey, look, I want to give a big shout out to our sponsors of the show, ZSM Sports. Shout out to ZSM Sports. They're absolutely amazing. Cars, jerseys, balls, and hard to find items. ZSM Sports, they specialize in sports memorabilia, and they are the place to go. Go shout out ZSM Sports. You want a good place to eat, good subs, Hangry Owls is the place to go. They got great desserts there, too. Hangry Owls in Pembroke Pines, 16606 Sheridan Street. You can give them a call, 305-279-5332, and tell Hangry Owl that I sent you. Use the code word SKPL. Get $3 off your subs. If you use the code word SKPL on Fridays, you get $6 off of your subs, okay? It's good stuff. A little Vasasaur. Love some Vasasaur. Vasasaur in the morning, at night, it is the way to go. Born and raised, a beer created for the fans, by the fans. It is the official beer of Clock Blockers. Make sure you use Vasasaur at all of your tailgates, your party needs. Vasasaur, born and raised, a beer created for the fans, by the fans. Hey, you need tickets for this weekend in MetLife? GreatPlaceToSit.com. You need tickets for next week for the Vikings game? GreatPlaceToSit.com. That's right. A GreatPlaceToSit.com is the #1 place to get any tickets, concerts, or any event. You need parking passes, a GreatPlaceToSit.com. But check it out. Go online, see what they have. But look, if you all use this, I'm talking about the code word, DWA, you will get 5% off your tickets if you call 954-989-7979. Use the code word DWA, get 5% off your tickets. Good thing about a GreatPlaceToSit.com, there's no service or ticket fees. All right. So give them a call. Even if you don't necessarily see a ticket that you like up there, say, hey, look, this is what I'm looking for. Can you find something for me? They have access to tickets that might not even be currently on there. They know how to get stuff. They're a wonderful and amazing place. And we love a GreatPlaceToSit.com. So shout out to them. Last but not least, Tailgreeter. Tailgreeter is absolutely amazing. Download the free app on your current Apple or Android device, whatever it is. I'm team Android all day. Make sure you download it and go follow them on social media at TAILGREETER. All right, man. Today's Throwback Thursday. We're going to make our picks. Tamaris is not going to be joining us this morning, but she did give her picks to Cameron. So Cameron obviously will be turning in her picks. You're going to check out my picks actually later on today on Dougley Do-Wrong's channel. I did a little episode with Dougley Do-Wrong. I recorded it last night or the night before. Night before, I recorded a segment with Dougley Do-Wrong on his channel for this week's picks. So Cameron's going to be giving his picks today, and then we're going to add everything up and we're going to put it together. And I'm still behind on last week's. I'm used to, not doing this stuff by myself. So I'm trying to get everything together. But yes, we're going to have Tamaris will be back next week, and it'll be good stuff. We'll be good to go. Without further ado, let me bring in the co-host for the day, my brother from another mother. Love this man, Mr. Cameron 954. What's up, Cameron?
Hey, good morning. How are you, man?
I'm sore, man. I played golf yesterday for the first time in over a year.
Uh-huh.
I did a charity golf event. It was closest to the pin as a team. So it's not like we finished as a foursome 12 over par. I don't think it was bad. We didn't finish in last place.
You say
We
12
did not
over,
finish. We were 12 over.
and you were playing best ball?
Best ball as a foursome, as a team.
That's freaking horrible. Where were you playing, Augusta?
No. We were playing at a local place near my house called Mountain Branch. And look, the last place was like 48 over par. So we weren't last. Right. The winner was like 36 under par, I think. So
no, that's maybe a score of 36.
26 under par. I'm sorry, 26 under par.
Yeah. Oh man, Rashad, you might be right. Hey, real housekeeping note. Tamaris is feeling under the weather. She can't really talk, so she gave me her picks. I'm a little under the weather, but I'm going to give you my picks. And anybody that in the comments or any of the subscribers that ordered shirts over the past few weeks, they went out this past Monday. So 3 days ago, they should arrive any day now, hopefully by tomorrow, Friday. Mm-hmm. And I have a new inventory. So if anybody is looking for the button-down East 32 Dolphins tailgate shirts, hit me up in the DMs with size and address, $40 a piece.
Let's go. Let's go.
And then thirdly, and I know this is a football show, but I do want to give a shout out because we are a Miami sports music channel. Yesterday was Donnie Baseball's last game as a manager for the Marlins. He went out, with a win, and I love Donnie Baseball, and I think he spent 7 years here as the manager of the Marlins, and I think he'll be defined by his record, which is sad because his legacy is much more than that. He brought up kids and taught them how to be professionals in this game, and as they go on to other teams throughout the league, his legacy, I think, is seeded throughout the league. Than what his record really defines him as the manager of the Marlins. So we wish Donnie Baseball best of luck moving forward.
Look, I'm a baseball fan myself, and we don't, it's in prime football season. We do talk Heat, we do talk Panthers, we do talk Marlins, not often because the Dolphins are obviously the team that gets talked about the most on this channel. But from a baseball standpoint, Marlins wise, I knew that the house was going to be clean the moment Derek Jeter left, and everybody was probably going to leave when it was all said and done. So I was interested. I'm interested to see where this franchise turns, or where they're headed, because here's my scare, I guess, as a fan of the team. I don't know if do they have a direction that they're going? Is there a vision for the future of this team? There's a lot of young pitching. There's a lot of great young players. I get that. I understand that. But now Jeter's gone, and now Donnie Baseball is gone. Where does this team turn to for direction?
And we won't go into a long diatribe, but this is Kim Ng's team, and she's proven herself with the Dodgers in her prior positions with the Yankees and such as being a capable leader of a professional baseball team. And it's fair for her to pick her manager. So that's what's going to happen. And, not getting into the stats too much, but the Marlins had the, I think, 10th or 12th best starting pitching rotation this season. And they've lost, I think, 36 one-run games. So, there's opportunity on this team. Hitting is a sore spot, consistent hitting. They had injuries, and, Asavel Garcia and Jorge Soler really didn't play up to their expectations. So it'll be an interesting offseason.
They did not. And Jesus Aguilar, who I was a big fan of, ended up getting released and ended up being here in Baltimore. I got to see him in Baltimore.
Asavel Garcia and who'd you just mention?
Jesus Aguilar.
Aggie were the two worst full-time hitters in Major League Baseball this season.
I know. Anyway. And then real quick, just to stay on baseball real quick, we saw Aaron Judge go after the American League home run record of 61 by Roger Maris. He ended up breaking it, hitting the home run the night before last night, I believe.
Yep.
And somebody had posted a photo on Facebook that I thought was hilarious. Joey Gallo, hitter for the Dodgers and used to be in Yankees this year, had a total of 56 hits this year, and Aaron Judge had 62 home runs. That's bad and good. That's crazy. That's a crazy stat.
Yeah, it sucks that Gallo's got all the talent in the world. I think it's between the ears. But listen, man, Aaron Judge did something incredible. 62, breaking the Yankees team record, breaking the American League record. But he's still the seventh best home run hitter in Major League Baseball history. So the record is 73, and that's what should be recognized.
Yep, and that's a whole conversation. We should sit down and record a little thing for a video upload and just talk about that, because
I would love
we won't get into it this morning, but it is very interesting, right? Like, you can say what you want about Barry Bonds, but at the end of the day, he is the one that holds the home run record. There's no asterisk next to it.
That's right.
You can call it what you want, and that is the record. But 62 home runs is legit something that shouldn't be looked over.
Agreed. It shouldn't. It should be recognized, and I think he's going to be recognized as more than likely the MVP.
And by the way, real quick, let me just also say, Aaron Judge was up for free agent or was up for contract extension at the beginning of the year. The Yankees did not do that. He said, "I'll bet on myself this year," and ended up hitting 62 home runs. Talk about somebody who said, "You know what? Put that in the Lamar Jackson situation," right? It's crazy to be up for a contract extension as a superstar of your league, and your team not wrapping you up and saying, "You know what? That's fine. I'll play a year. I'll play this last year on the contract, and we'll see what happens." And the Yankees bet, and they bet wrong.
He made himself like an extra $25 million a year this year.
Easy.
I'll tell you what, I would not be surprised if the Yankees throw $100 million a year contract at him.
That's wild. Say that one more time.
I think he will be offered $100 million a year, and I think it's the Dodgers. The Dodgers have a lot of opportunity. Insane.
And the Yankees will do it. Let's just throw that out there. You don't think so?
I think the Dodgers are the team to beat on Judge.
So there's no in baseball, there's no franchise tag, right? So he's a free agent.
Correct.
That's insane.
He can sign with anybody he wants.
$100 million a year is probably what he'll be offered. So take that real quick. Let's just move on to the football aspect real quick. If Lamar has an MVP season, right? Let's just say Lamar gets the MVP this year. What type of numbers do you see Lamar getting in the offseason?
I mean, I don't know what's the highest paid quarterback. Is it Aaron Rodgers?
I want to say it's Mahomes, and I want to say he's getting paid like $50 million a year, I think, when it comes down to it. No, I do like his cap hit this year isn't that big or whatever. But if you break down the contract the way it is, I think it comes out to like, I want to say it's something ridiculous. Does anybody know? Andre says it's Rodgers. What is the highest paid right now?
So Mahomes is a 10-year, $45 million contract, but NFL contracts are really
no, $455 million, right?
I said, yeah,
you said 45. No, yeah, it's 455. And correct me if I'm wrong. That comes out to with signing bonus.
So he was guaranteed at signing $63 million. His average yearly salary is $45 million. You were right. He got
I was right. I was like 50. Yeah.
He got a $10 million. He got a $10 million signing bonus. 63 guaranteed. So
my question to you then is, if Lamar, who did the same exact thing that Aaron Judge did in baseball this year, what type of contract is Lamar Jackson going to be looking at? Like it's got to be a crazy number. It's got to be. If he wins MVP this year, come on, man, he's got to be. He won't get it from Baltimore, by the way. He won't get it from Baltimore.
$50 million.
I believe that.
Hey, you know who has the highest base salary in the NFL for a quarterback? You will not guess this.
Ryan Tannehill.
Yes.
I do know. I knew that. I knew
$29 million.
That's crazy. That's ridiculous. Tennessee. That's why Tennessee doesn't win football games. I'm just throwing that out there. They're
Aaron Rodgers
paying him
has
the highest base salary in all of the NFL this year. That's crazy.
Aaron Rodgers has the highest average annual salary.
And what is that?
50.2.
All right, so it is Rodgers when it comes to that. But okay.
Russell Wilson is $48 million. What a putrid contract that is.
Denver was just trying to do what they were trading a Super Bowl for money. They thought they could do it. They did it with Peyton Manning. Why couldn't they do it with Russell Wilson?
God bless Geno Smith, man. Good for him.
You know? And it makes you think if when Tua comes back this year, if he balls out the way he's been, what type of contract will Tua get? That'll be an interesting thing too.
It's not going to be anywhere close to what these guys are doing.
No, I think Tua would have to win 1 or 2 playoff games this year, be healthy for the rest of the year, and see what happens when it comes to it. But I mean, if he does win a playoff game or 2, he's going to get a good contract.
Oh, for sure, and he should. He deserves it. But let's get him on the field first. Let's even see if he's on the field. You know what? And not going into the CTE stuff, but I didn't realize like CTE is not diagnosable until you're dead.
Yeah, I knew that. I knew all of that. You didn't know that?
No, until they.
No. There's no way to diagnose it when you're alive.
When they dissect your brain and figure out that there's tissue damage.
Yeah, look, here's just to kind of briefly touch on this before we go into the Jets. Before we go on to picking games, then the Jets game.
Mm-hmm.
Look, there's a lot of stuff that's floating around out there. There's 2 things that I know. I've come to the realization that the NFL can put in whatever protocol they want to put in, but I don't think anybody I don't think there is truly anything out there to say if a player is going to have long-term or short-term an injury from this, right? Like we could, there's ways to diagnose concussions. But the question is if Tua passed all those concussion protocols, which from what we have read, everything we have read, he did. There's no way I even think, even if the NFL, because the NFL and the NFLPA are meeting with each other, even if they get together and come up with some new, hey, this is the new base level of how we need to go about checking these players. If I'm correct, last week there was 50 plus players that went out in concussion protocol last week. The week before the Tua injury, I think there was 11 or 12 in all of the NFL. So in 1 week, it rose from 11 or 12 players going out in concussion protocols to 50 plus. And I actually think it might be 60. I don't have the numbers right in front of me. That's a crazy increase, right? That's crazy. That's the NFL covering their ass at the end of the day. But 100%. if you look at it from the standpoint, I don't think that there is a true measuring stick that anybody can know. Okay, are you dizzy? Yes. All right, come out of the game. Let's check you. Let's make sure you're good. Do you have a headache? Do you have these things? And we can say, okay, look, here's what I think. I think they need to be on the safe side. Is it right for them to say, hey, look, if you get a concussion, you're out a minimum of 2 weeks? I don't know. I don't know what the true answer is. What I do know, the NFL is going to over implement here to be on the safe side. Yep, they're going to overcompensate here. And I think that what and the answer we need doesn't exist yet because there's not enough information there yet. And everybody's like, oh, there's so much information, so many medical studies. There is, but we need to do more medical studies now. We need to figure out how can we as a society figure out concussions, why people are still alive. Can we figure out CTE, why people are still, there needs to be more money poured into this. And I just don't think the answers are there yet.
I couldn't agree with you more. I don't think we know enough about concussions or the long-term effects, and more research needs to be done. And unfortunately, the only research really that can be done is once a player, receives a concussion, then you diagnose them and monitor him or her. On the flip side, you know what? These guys know what they're getting into. They sign up for it. They get paid for it. They understand that they're putting their bodies at risk, not only their heads, but their limbs, their everything, right? Because it is a game where grown men, smash into each other, and it's a violent game. And that's the reality of pro tackle football.
Jonathan Dill says you have to get constant blows to the head to develop CTE, not one concussion. So, Jonathan, I used to believe that too. And so, Jonathan, just so you know, so I'm not talking ignorantly here, and I'm not talking down to you or anything. This is I went out and did research, reading the stuff that the doctor that Will Smith played the movie in. I read his studies. I read outside studies. The Congress did an independent study using Dartmouth's head coach. I went back and looked at all that stuff. So that is not a necessarily 100% accurate statement, because if you get hit the wrong way, one blow, you can then that can then also develop. It could lead to, you don't need one hit the wrong way, you could die point blank. You don't need multiple. And then as far as CTE concerned, it's been known to develop in people who get mostly blows to the head, boxers, MMA fighters, football players, soccer players, all that. But that's still not, but it can still have, they've cut open people's brains after death who, got, from what they know of, 10 to 20 concussions, 10 to 20 hits to the head that they were aware of, to boxers who had hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of, and some of their brains looked exactly alike. So that's not 100% accurate statement. I just want to throw that out there. We don't know, and that's the point I'm trying to make.
There's a doctor, pretty famous concussion doctor. His name is Bennett Amalu, and
that's who I'm talking about. That's who the movie Will Smith played. Yes,
correct. And he was quoted in the New York Post yesterday as saying that, in his opinion, Tua should give up right now.
So let me tell you where that comes from. I'm glad you brought that up. Okay, yep. So that comes from somebody who Bennett Amamu, and if I'm saying his last name correctly, or incorrectly, I apologize. Is the person who discovered CTE. He's the person who fought with the NFL to get them to recognize that concussions were a real problem. Now, he's seen the worst of the worst. He's seen all those Pittsburgh Steelers players. He's seen lots of former NFL players' brains cut open after death. He has seen it all. And probably, if I'm honest with myself, there's probably nobody more, what's the word I want to use? There's nobody that knows more about it than probably he does. But I think we all have a human element to that, right? And so if you see nothing but the negative side effects of this, you're always going to be, he says he loves football, but he also understands the danger of football. So making a statement like that comes at a caution of, hey man, look, I don't think it comes from a place of, I think it comes from a place of caution more than anything else.
Well, I mean, then he goes on to say that, it's more important, in his opinion, for Tua to enjoy his life, enjoy his new wife, enjoy his future kids, instead of, continuing to put that into jeopardy, because now he has known concussions, right? And it doesn't get better.
It doesn't. But with that being said, there are also people, let's take two people in particular. Troy Aikman at the end of his career got a lot of concussions, all right? And that was known. And that's part of the reason that he ended up leaving the game when he did, is because of his repeated concussions at the end of his career.
Do you know he has to write down his home address in his wallet?
Yeah. Yeah.
Crazy. So I want to Isaiah McKenzie, who is a South Florida native, and he's in the concussion protocol right now. He got hit in the Ravens game to the head, took a hit to the head. And he had an interesting quote. Not only did he, it was startling because of what he said about the hit and the after effects. He was paralyzed for 20 minutes. He couldn't move. it was the hardest that he's ever been hit. But he also said it comes with the territory. We choose to play this sport, and we know it's a brutal sport. That's what happens, and you've got to be fine with it. You've got to be fine with getting hurt. You've got to be fine with getting a concussion. You've got to be fine with everything that comes with it. That's why you signed the contract. So I was fine with it. And I know that's Tua's mentality as well. And that Joe Burrow came out yesterday and said, listen, I there was parts of games I don't remember, but that comes with the territory. And so the NFL knows this, right? So the NFL is just deflecting public opinion with that doesn't have enough knowledge about their players and what the product they put on the field, I think. And it's a money-making, mega bank that the NFL is, and they're trying to protect that, right? And so they have these players that are willing to die on that shield. Basically, I mean, they're willing to die or put their life at risk and harm's way for that contract for the NFL because that's all they've known growing up. And so I'm stopping short to calling it hypocrisy because it's willingness by the players. I think the outcry comes from the perception that the public has, the general perception that the public has about the violence of this sport. And mind you, players are getting bigger and faster and hitting harder. And so, like, listen, the gentleman, the defensive lineman for the Bengals that, ragdolled Tua is 345 pounds and runs a 4.85.
Topu, right? Or Topu,
yeah,
whatever.
I'm 252 pounds. My daughter is 112 pounds. That's the equivalent of me taking a 6-step run at her and running her over.
Cameron over here. Don't do that to your children, Cameron.
Bro.
Oh, you're right, 100%.
You put that in perspective, and Tua is not a small guy. Like, he's not large, but he's not small. He's 6'1", 215. And so, you got to put those things in perspective. Go ahead.
No, all right. So Dr. Bennett, somebody had said that Dr. Bennett Amamu said that football should be banned. I read a lot of stuff about him. I don't think I ever read anywhere that he said that ever. And if I'm wrong, please correct me, and I'll be more than happy to say that, hey, this clearly says it, or this clearly says that he said that, and I'll be more than happy to, and I want it verified, right, that he said that. I don't know anywhere that he said that. Now, with that being said, I think what he wants is something to the equivalent of what cigarettes had, with the Surgeon General's warning on it. When you sign your contract, 15 years ago in the NFL knew that concussions were bad, but they were ignoring it from a standpoint of, we don't want anything negative to the game to affect how people view it, right? And that's bad on the NFL. The Shield has so many red marks in its history, but so does our country's history, so does a million things, right? So take that into account. Understand that just because it isn't right doesn't mean that we can't go further down the line and say, you know what? Let's change this. Let's figure out how to make this better, and let's move forward. Now that players are starting to know, hey, look, traumatic injuries to the head, whether it's 1 or 50, can affect my physical status down the line in life after my playing career is over. So I do think it's different now, because I think a player signing up now, and people will be like, well, I either play for millions of dollars or I go work a regular 9-to-5 job. But that's also the reality of the situation. They choose to make that decision.
And so what's the solution moving forward, right? Like, it's obvious that the concussion protocol needs retooled, right? It needs redefined and probably a lot more stringent. So let's say,
and whatever it gets changed to now is not going to be the solution. It's just a step forward. Go ahead.
And so let's say, like, they have the team doctor and the independent doctor, who the gentleman that we all know now is fired, make a conclusion that it was, there was no gross motor instability, in Tua's presence after his examination. So if they're examining him for gross motor instability, which defined on the field to our eyes was Tua grabbing his head, him wobbly at the Bills game, and at the Bengals game, the fencing response to the, as much as we can, hypothesize and talk about, what caused that, those are symptoms that should preclude the player from re-entering the game, at least in the very minimum that game. Mm-hmm. Right. So if you put that in place as part of the, first step of the concussion protocol, you need to expand the rosters, right?
Because, 100%.
Because if you have 3, 4, 5 players, now exhibiting gross motor instability, meaning they limp off the field, they're groggy, they have a stinger, whatever that is, then, you need to expand to 63, 73 players on it.
I don't know 73, but I said 65 was the number I originally came up with. And I also think that you should be able to protect certain practice squad players from an NFL coming at it from a football standpoint. As far as what the NFL should do for concussion protocol, look, I think they're going to overcompensate here. They're going to make this very strict, as they should. They should all be taken seriously. But I think that whatever they end up doing, I don't want them to say this is the solution to the issue. No, this is a step forward in the direction of a solution to the issue. And we, in the meantime, are going to elevate our concussion protocol. We're going to elevate how we go about treating it, how we go about diagnosing it, how we go about allowing a player to come back to the game on the field, whether that be the same game, 1 game, 2 games, a month, whatever. Was that their first concussion? Was that their second concussion this year? Have they had a history of concussions in past seasons? Is it something where, let's say a player, and I'm just using this as an example, and again, this is not a solution. This is just things that I've thought about. Do you allow a player to say, well, this is my 3rd concussion in 3 years. I'm going to sign a waiver that says I am, as the NFL start making them sign waivers. Hey, look, you've had 3 concussions in 3 years. Our recommendation is that you retire, but if you want to keep on playing, you're going to sign a waiver saying that we told you that it was, does it get to something like that?
No, I mean, listen, this is, and you're going down an avenue where this is inevitably going to go, and it's going to be a war between the NFL Players Association and the NFL. So, the NFL, let's say hypothetically, put forward on the contract table what you just described. The NFL Players Association is never going to touch that, because then you're going to absolve that player from ever receiving
future benefits.
Alumni insurance benefits. And that's been the big hang up for, almost a decade now, is that, getting these past alumni, a portion of the pie so their healthcare is taken care of moving forward. So, this is going to be a big mushroom cloud of negotiations that I don't think it's going to go away anytime soon, in my opinion.
And this is what the NFL was trying to avoid 10 years ago. It was just inevitable that it was going to come out. And is it right or wrong on them? It's wrong, 100%. But as a multi-billion-dollar industry, they knew what the mushroom cloud was going to be from this. And they were 100%. Their fears are being, exactly what they thought they were. Hey, what do we do now? How does this game go forward? And here's the other thing too. As a parent of an 8 and 6-year-old who I played Pee-wee football, right? Based on what I read, so the Dartmouth study that was done through Congress, I've come to the realization I'm never going to let my child play football until minimum high school. And even then, I'm going to have trouble saying yes to it. That's just what I have decided to say as a parent. The problem with that is I don't necessarily feel that way about soccer. And soccer has the 2nd most concussions of any other sport in America. Okay. So what happens as we try, we make the NFL players, we make the NFL to be this huge thing. These people make hundreds of millions of dollars. They're posters on our children's wall. The kids want to play like them. What do we do now as we approach this study of concussions and this to children, to the younger generation, the youth football aspect, because it's going to affect that too. It's going to affect that.
I agree. And, speaking of youth football, I don't know who it was. Maybe it was Shady McCoy or somebody talking about, the participation rate of youth football, whether it's Pee-wee or wherever you got the stats, is down like 30%, right? And so the NFL, I mean, they feed into these little leagues, right? There's money that goes all the way down, and I see it firsthand. NFL alumni that now have, Pee Wee football leagues, or they sponsor, community football systems, and they go into their, the assistant coaches into these high schools, the head coaches into the colleges, into pro. Like, there's a long trail of coaches that go all the way down to Pee Wee, and whatever decisions or negotiations come of this, I don't have faith in the Players Association nor the NFL to get it right. So it'll be interesting.
They're not the solution to get it right. The issue is that we watch a multi-billion-dollar sport. This is a YouTube channel that is dedicated to one of the 32 NFL teams, right? Like, let's be honest. There's so many, like, the Dolphins are absolutely one of my favorite things in life, and I want my kids to. My son wore a Dolphins shirt to school today, and it made my day. Like, it just made my freaking day. He's like, Dad, look what I'm wearing today. He was so excited to show me that he was wearing a Dolphins shirt to school today. And I want that love and that passion for my kids to have, and eventually pass it on to their kids long after I'm gone, that the Dolphins will remain like that team. Like, I see how soccer is, right? Like, I see Arsenal fans and Manchester United, and, I see 4 generations of fans. And I want that as a Dolphins fan, I want that for my kids and my great grandkids, that the Dolphins are just here for generations. And I'm worried about the sport. I really am,
and that's an honest, worry. But the bottom line is that these players sign up for it, right? They love the game. And as long as the education of the possibilities of long-term injury is happening at an early age, so they're educated and making these decisions, you sign that contract as a pro, it's on, that's part of the game. It's like a firefighter, know that your life is on the line when you go into, a firefight, into a house fire. It's not, it's not the equivalent, but there's jeopardy in the job.
One last question before we move on. Well, how does college football deal with this? Because it's a multi-billion-dollar sport, and the kids are starting to now get compensated. But I feel like that's a totally different animal in itself.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with that. I mean, NILs that is a totally different conversation. So how does college football deal with it? No, they're not under the microscope. So they're like, standing in the corner, please don't look at me.
But they're going to come to light in this. Don't get it twisted. They have to be, It'll
be interesting to see how that's handled. I don't have an answer for you.
Greg Fontaine says they have the targeting rule in college. My wife and I have talked about that if you get a targeting flag twice, or if you get a targeting flag at all, I think you're gone, right? I don't even think it's twice anymore.
Automatic ejection.
Yeah. So, but that's, man, I don't know. I feel like this is a conversation that needs to keep happening. Some people are like, why are we still having this conversation? I think the reality of the situation is, you have a conversation the way me and Cameron are having it. I think that's the way to have it. And I think that we need to realize 2 things, that no matter what the outcome of this in the next few months is, or the next few days, or the next few weeks, that it is not going to be the solution to the problem. We need to come at this from 2 ways as a fan. Number 1, what is in the best interest of the player, right? What is in the best interest of the player? And with that, and that's not the second thing, along with that, keeping with that, does that player know what his best interests are from a physical standpoint? And then what are their interests per se? If it's told to Tua, hey, look, there's not a good outcome for you here from a physical standpoint down the road, but you can keep playing, and that's your choice. That needs to be his choice, in my opinion. That's how I look at it. There are other people that disagree with me, and that's fine. And there are more important things than football. Nobody's saying that there isn't. I just think that we need to realize this is a game. This is also a job. This is how somebody makes their living. And just like with anything, if a Navy SEAL decides, or a military personnel knows that what I am doing for a living comes with the threat of, my life, that they choose to make that decision. And I think down the line, that's how this kind of needs to be looked at. And I think it's tough to say you're trying to compare. I'm not comparing the military to football. I'm just I'm merely stating that this occupation has a job hazard to it, just like some other occupations in our world, in our society. And I think if people understand that, I think we can then move to the next course of how can we keep on making it safer and still an enjoyable game that we can enjoy every Sunday. That's what I think as fans we need to come to. Is that?
So I put up this comment because, it's very relevant and very accurate. There's 17 games in the schedule. Every game is critical. And the reason why we're still talking about this is because someone else asked that question earlier, because it involves our quarterback, and it involves not only our quarterback, our QB1, but a quarterback that's had so much pressure and spotlight put on him, and he's finally producing to our expectations. And, now this is all happening, and this is why we're talking about this. It's just not so much, of course, we're all concerned for Tua's health and his long-term health and all the other players' health. But, bottom line, we're Miami Dolphins fans, and we're winning, and we're number one in the AFC, and it's relevant.
Yeah, it is. It's 100% relevant, and it's 100% relevant to our football team. All right, let's hit the reset button. Miami Sports Music's #1 Miami fan morning show, Clock Blockers, right here on the Miami Sports Music Podcast Network. Hopefully, you guys learned a little bit there and made you think about that conversation a little bit more. But we're going to switch gears now, and we're going to talk about this weekend's slate of NFL games coming up. I am super excited about this weekend's NFL games coming up as a fan of football. I don't have a ticket yet.
For what?
The Sunday night game. So I'm considering. I
heard you yesterday. Yeah,
I'm gonna do 2 NFL games in one day. I'm gonna go to the MetLife game as soon as the game is over. Leave there, go down I-95 South Turnpike, I-95 South, and try to make the Ravens Bengals game. I don't know how many people have ever done that. I tried to look for videos of people that have done that. There's not a lot. So I really want to do it.
That'd be pretty cool.
I think it would be. I think it'd be a really cool sports feat to do. I don't have a ticket for Sunday night's game yet, but we're going to go and talk about everything from this Thursday night all the way down to the Monday night game. So we'll talk about the Dolphins and Jets last. So let's go ahead and get into the slate of games for this week.
Do you have the last week's records?
I do not have that. I was trying to clearly avoid that at the moment because I don't have that information on at the moment. I'm behind on doing stuff. I apologize, Cameron. I used to have somebody to do this. I don't have that no more. So I need to go back and look at all this.
Where's Roach? We miss you, Roach.
We miss you. All right, let's go ahead and we'll do week 5 of the NFL. We'll do Thursday night. If somebody would like to keep track of this for us, that would be very helpful.
It's your show, Steven.
I know.
You got a piece
I
of
know.
paper and pen?
No, I don't. I'm like trying to monitor everything. I'm producing, hosting, all at the same. It's a lot to do. People need to understand that. There you go. You ready?
Let's go.
Are you ready? Okay, let's go. Colts, Broncos game this weekend. Tonight, actually, Thursday night. Colts are facing the Denver Broncos. What do you think, Cameron?
So we got Colts going into Denver. Both these teams woefully underperforming up to their expectations this year. I think Broncos are giving our 3-point favorites.
Mm-hmm.
Man, this is one really difficult game to forecast. And the only reason I'm giving it to Denver is because they're playing at home. And Russell Wilson just cannot be this bad.
He might be, though. I said it this year. I've said a lot of things in the offseason, but 2 things I was confident about a lot of things, and some of those did not come to fruition. But I was very confident in saying that the Broncos would finish last this year in the AFC West, and that the Patriots would finish last in the AFC East. And those things are starting to look very good for me.
So I'm taking Denver. I believe, hold on, let me see here. What did Tamaris take? Tamaris took Denver as well.
Tamaris took Denver as well.
Okay.
All right. And my picks, by the way, you're going to see my picks on Dougley Do-Wrong's channel today. He's uploading that video. I will be doing my picks with Dougley Do. He just asked and I did it, so I don't want to give my picks. I want people to see Dougley's show and tune in for my show with Dougley.
Okay.
You'll get my picks up there. Okay. All right. Sunday, 9:30 a.m., a London game. The Giants at the Packers, but it's in London. By the way, these London games seem to be, I'm very conflicted. And I'm conflicted for two reasons. Number one, I think the NFL, I love seeing the NFL outside of the U.S. Don't get it twisted. I think those fans deserve to see some real regular season NFL game action. But let me tell you, some of these games in London have just been atrocious. And I think Sunday morning's game is going to be bad.
There was a good game a couple weeks ago in London. Who was that? That was a really good game.
Was it? Was it though?
It was probably one of the better games of the week.
It was a better game than what we've seen. It wasn't a great game. Giants at Packers. What do you think?
Listen, Jones has rolled his ankle. Not sure if he's going to play. Tyrod Taylor, the backup for the Giants, is in concussion protocol. He's out. You can't put everything on Saquon Barkley. And I don't see Green Bay losing this game. Tamaris has Green Bay as well.
All right. 1 o'clock game, Detroit Lions versus the New England Patriots.
So you got Detroit at New England. Man, I love Detroit. I love, the coach. We all do. Coach Dan Campbell. Their quarterback, Jared Goff, is doing some good things. Equanimous St. Brown is a star on the rise. But you're not beating Belichick at home. And you know what? I don't care if they're starting the third string bartender from the South End. He played a really good game. He put 26 or 23 points on the board. So I'm going to take New England at home.
Do you know the point spread of this game?
I think New England's given 3.5, aren't they?
I know. Yeah. By the way, I'll tell you this game. I'm telling you right now, Detroit's winning. You could just put that down for me. Detroit's winning. Detroit is winning this game.
I want Detroit to win.
Detroit is winning.
But I mean, you're not going to see. Listen, Belichick is not going to lose 2 games at home. I just do not see it back-to-back game.
There's a first time for everything, my friend. And let me tell you, a team that put up 45 points and still lost did the Detroit Lions, just so you know. They got something to prove. And they have this head coach, Dan Campbell. Maybe you've heard of him. He's going to make a statement, and he's going to make it in New England, and I'm going to love every second of it.
Detroit is 1-3. They're leading the league in points per game average, and they're 1-3. That tells you something.
I know. Well, look, that means their defense isn't great, but you think they're going to lose to Billy Zapp? Zappe? How do you say his name? Is it Zapp?
Zappy, Zapper.
Zappy. Zappadoo, Zappaneer, Zap, Zappy. Yeah, no. I'm going Detroit in this game big time.
Tamaris takes Detroit as well.
Tamaris is awesome. Okay. The Los Angeles Chargers versus the Cleveland Browns. 1 o'clock game.
So we've got the LA Chargers versus the massage therapist.
Nope, massage therapist is not playing.
Listen, I'm all about Herbert really doing very badly this year. Just for
you just want to be right.
Exactly. I like Brissett. I like Cleveland. I like Chubb and the running back, the Kareem Hunt and Chubb. I don't think the Chargers are going to stop their attack. You got David Njoku, the tight end from the U, that's playing really well. Brissett is, playing better than average. I'm taking the Chargers. I'm taking the Browns.
You taking the Browns?
Yeah, I'm taking the Browns.
What did Tamaris pick?
The Chargers.
Okay. All right. Guys, hit the like button. 130 of y'all watching, only 52 likes. Hit the like button. All right, next game. The Texans versus at the Jaguars. Texans at Jaguars.
So far for me, Doug Peterson's the coach of the year.
Really?
First 4 games, Jacksonville is markedly improved in all 3 phases of the game.
They have.
Trevor Lawrence is making confident throws. He's putting his players in position for yards after catch. Their defense is really good. They were thrown under the bus for taking this kid Walker as their first round draft pick, and he has been nothing short of spectacular. I think Jacksonville crushes Houston this week.
What did Tamara's pick?
Houston.
All right. I love Level 2 Noob. He got me on Twitter, bro. Let me show this real quick. So for those of you who just joined the show, I played golf yesterday and I'm like hurting very, very bad. And Level 2 Noob posted this and it's pretty good. I'll show it to you real quick. It's worth pausing the show for it to show it.
What is that? What is that? What is that?
I'm not that bad. I'm not that bad.
We'll see.
I was the bogey boys yesterday. We bogeyed a lot of holes. That's what I'm saying. We were the bogey boys. Okay. All right. Next game. Let's go
to triple bogeyed them.
No. We had one double bogey. We bogeyed most. Anything that was a par 3, we hit for par. And we had one birdie yesterday. A lot of bogeys though. Okay. Atlanta Falcons versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
We got the Falcons versus the Buccaneers. Brady's not losing 2 in a row at home against Mariota. This is a no-brainer. Tampa Bay.
Tamaris
took Tampa Bay.
All right, very interesting game. I actually think it'll be interesting personally. Oh, actually, real quick, before I move on from that, let me just say something. So this, and I said this in the Dougly Do Wrong video that you'll see later today. That's posted on Dougly's channel. I'm not a person that likes to get into personal life, players' personal life. But I'm telling you right now, this divorce that he's going through with Giselle is going to play a factor on the field. In my opinion, it will. Just my opinion. You don't think so?
I'm not saying that it's none of my business, nor do I, I don't like the fact that he's in a public spotlight, right? So
yeah.
It comes with the territory, but I don't think it's right for people to make fun of the issues that he.
I'm not making fun of it.
I'm not saying you are.
Okay, yeah. I just think it's going to play a factor in how he plays. I do. I think it will.
Yeah. Now he's going to play for another 20 years. So
he might now. All right. Eric Carey says, "Morning, boys. Looking forward to seeing you both in a few days." We're looking forward to seeing you, Eric, at the MetLife takeover.
Eric Carrier, hit me up because when are you coming in for fan club weekend?
Talking to me or him?
You.
I am driving up first thing Saturday morning.
No, fan club weekend.
Oh, I'm coming in Thursday. We need to talk about doing a show at Dirty Sportswear that Friday.
Or not. We'll talk about it.
Okay. All right.
We'll talk about it later.
Might have an alternative place?
Yes.
Ooh. Now I'm excited.
With Eric Carrier.
Okay. All right. Steelers. I don't know if I'm playing golf again. I'm just letting you know. Eric says he's not coming to fan club weekend.
All right, forget it. We'll go to Dirty.
All right, Steelers and Bills. I actually think this will be a very interesting game. 1:00 p.m. What are your thoughts about this game?
Steelers and Bills. Are you kidding me right now? So the Steelers
be a lot closer than people think.
Steelers go into Buffalo. Steelers defense isn't that good, and that's not even. We're not even going to talk about. They're starting Kenny Pickett, and they're starting him against the Bills, against the Ravens, against the Patriots, and somebody else in his first 4 games. Like they're throwing them down in the gauntlet, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Bills all day. The Bills are going to crush Pittsburgh. And listen, I do want to say this, that I respect the hell out of Mike Tomlin for doing what he's doing and just moving straight to his rookie. Let's get him out there. Let's get him the experience. We're not going to be in contention this year. He knows it. With Trubisky. Trubisky's not going to get him to the playoffs. He's seen enough. So let's start the clock on Pickett. And that's the way a head coach leads his team. That to me, Tomlin is telling the rest of his players, listen, we're playing hard this season, but we're going to give our kid, our future quarterback. They did the same thing with Roethlisberger when he came up. So I love what they're doing, what Tomlin's doing with Pickett, but he's not winning this game for sure. And Tamara's picks Buffalo as well.
All right, we're going to skip the Dolphins and the Jets and do that game last. The Chicago Bears versus the Minnesota Vikings. Minnesota, nice. Bears, Vikings.
Bears, Vikings. I grew up in Chicago, and I'm a Bears fan, and it pains me to see how either Justin Fields is being mishandled or he's really bad. And I think it's both. He has moments where he really shines. Like he made some fourth quarter throws last week that were in, right on, spot on, and gave his players chances to make plays. And then other times he just makes horrible decisions. So to me, that's on coaching as well. And he's just not getting it there. They don't have all the tools to compete with Minnesota. So I'm taking Minnesota.
What did Tamara's pick?
She took Minnesota.
Okay. Titans at the Commanders. I actually think this will be one of the worst games of the weekend.
Titans at Commanders. So let's see. Tamara's.
As a matter of fact, I think the only people that will be watching that game will be people that when it's on the Red Zone channel and the people that are Titans fans and Commanders fans. Otherwise, nobody else will be watching this game.
Yeah, Tamara's took the Titans, and I will as well. This is about the point in the season, Game 5, where the Titans start taking the season seriously and start beating the opponents they're supposed to be beating. Carson Wentz is Carson Wentz. The fact that he got the contract that he did to start an NFL franchise,
yeah,
blows my mind. The feel-good story about this game is that kid who got shot, Robinson, in the preseason. He's activated and may play this game, so that's a pretty cool story.
Yeah, man, 100%. All right, let's go to Seattle Seahawks and the New Orleans Saints.
Seattle and Saints. There's a lot of bad football this weekend, right? Like a lot of bad matchups.
A lot of bad matchups.
Geno Smith going into New Orleans versus Andy Dalton. I think what makes me pick the Saints is that Alvin Kamara is cleared to play and will play this Sunday. Olave, the wide receiver out of Ohio State, has emerged as their wide receiver 1, and he looks like a hell of a player. Andy Dalton, and I don't know, I think Andy Dalton's starting again, looked pretty damn good in managing this offense. And that now that he has Kamara as another tool to use, I'll take New Orleans.
2 gingers starting this weekend, and Andy Dalton and Carson Wentz. Who did the Bears take this weekend?
New Orleans, and there's a great South Park episode about gingers. If you've been,
I know, I love it. I when I saw somebody had mentioned, that's not even my joke. I saw it on Twitter this yesterday, and I thought it was great. Okay, San Francisco 49ers and the Carolina Panthers.
Dude, Carolina, like I don't know who it was. Preseason picked Carolina the surprise. Was it you?
What?
To pick the Panthers as a potential?
No way. Are you kidding me? No way. That was not me. I admit to a lot of things. I'm not admitting to that. I did not say that.
I love the way San Francisco rallied around Garoppolo when he came into that game. I don't think Trey Lance plays another down for the 49ers this season. I think this is Garoppolo's team. I think they're good, and Carolina's not. So I'm taking San Francisco, as did Tamaris.
All righty. The Philadelphia Eagles versus the Arizona Cardinals. My first question to you is, are the Philadelphia Eagles for real? For reals? Are they for reals? Do you think they are the 4-0 team that their record is?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So tell me about this game this weekend against Kyler Murray in Arizona.
I like Philadelphia because Jalen Hurts has progressed into a really good quarterback. He's got great tools. Sanders has been written off, and he's running the rock really well. Their offensive line is excellent. Their defense is suffocating. Their backfield is creating turnovers. You've got Devontae Smith on the outside, doing his thing. I like what Philadelphia is putting on tape. They go into Arizona versus a team that's been struggling, and their defense is putrid. But something tells me that Kyler Murray's going to pull this game out. So I'm going to take the Cardinals.
Really?
And you know why? Because I don't want to see Philadelphia run the table. Not only for the fact that, we're Dolphins fans and the perfect season is ours, but do you imagine Philadelphia fans being undefeated?
They would not be good.
That'd be more annoying.
They're going to lose.
That'd be more annoying than the Mets winning a World Series and their fans.
That would be annoying. That would be. Okay. Again, if you guys want to know my picks, I recorded a segment 2 nights ago with Doug Lee Do Wrong for this weekend's picks on his channel. You're going to have to go watch it. It'll be uploaded to his channel today. Who did Tamaris pick for that Eagles Cardinals game?
As well.
Okay. All right. The Dallas Cooper Rushes versus the Los Angeles Matthew Staffords.
So you got the Cowboys.
By the way, Cooper Rush is the very first Dallas Cowboy quarterback to start his career 4-0. Just want to throw that out there.
So he's 3-0 this season and he won one game last year.
Yep.
And he's about to be 5-0.
I'm not saying I agree or disagree. You're going to have to find out. What did Tamaris say?
Tamaris agrees with me too, man.
Just watch my show with Doug Lee later. I think you'll like my pick there. I think
I listen. Dallas is playing some really good ball, and Cooper Rush is not making mistakes. And the Rams have shown a vulnerability on defense. People are going at Ramsey, and it's not been ending up well for them. I don't see that changing.
The Sunday night game that I will hopefully be at, the Cincinnati Bengals at the Baltimore Ravens.
Cincy goes into.
By the way, I do want to state this for the record. I think this is the game of the week. I think it'll be a really good game.
Hold on here. Where is it? Cincy and I'm trying to find Tamaris. There it is. Sunday night. Tamaris takes the Bengals. I disagree with her. The Ravens have found ways to lose games in the second half.
Yes, they have. And Ravens fans, let me tell you, I'm at this charity event yesterday, and they're doing a raffle. And Justin Tucker's autograph jersey, the guy who wins it is sitting next to me. And he goes up to get his jersey, and he says out loud, "Fire Harbaugh," and everybody clapped. Let me tell you, Baltimore fans want nothing to do with Harbaugh. They are done. They're over him.
The stupidest thing
I think it's hilarious. I think it's too funny.
Guy's a Hall of Fame coach and led him to the Super Bowl, and it's game freaking 4 that they're having this conversation.
Well, to give them credit, they have blown 2 games this year, right? To the fans' credit is what I'm saying. And he made the decision that he made last week with Buffalo. He did 2 games last year twice like that. So this is the 3rd game in 2 years that they could have went for the tie and chose to go for the win and lost. And so they could have made the playoffs last year on those 2 wins, and you don't know what's going to happen this year. So fans are fed up with it. They're like, this is ridiculous.
I have too much faith in Lamar Jackson. This is a nationally televised game, and he's on his contract campaign. So the Bengals, listen, they didn't look too good against the Dolphins last Thursday night. To me, the Dolphins lost that game more than the Bengals won that game.
Yeah, that's true. I agree.
And I just see the Ravens as a better overall team than the Bengals. And, Burrow isn't winning this game on his own. Joe Mixon's been one of the biggest disappointments this year. I just don't see the Ravens losing at home on Sunday night.
Well, hopefully that will be my second game in the same day since I'm just excited for that. So I hope that I end up going to that game. So we'll see what happens. All right, Monday night game. The Vegas Raiders versus the Kansas City Chiefs.
Dude, whatever the over is in this game, take it.
That's why it's not going to hit. Again, I'm glad I don't bet, but
listen, there's no way in hell that Las Vegas is going into KC and winning, right? Dude. Even though Tavares thinks so. She took Las Vegas.
Y'all know how I feel about Vegas. But at the same time, it's Patty Mahomes, and
the Chiefs are winning by 41.
I know, right? Like it's either going to be Hema Lamar this year for the MVP, in my opinion,
Chiefs
or Josh Allen, or Josh. It's going to be Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, or Lamar Jackson for the MVP this year.
It's going to be Tua.
From your mouth to God's ears.
Mm-hmm.
All right, the final game we will discuss. Let's get into it. The New York Jets host at the Meadowlands the Miami Dolphins.
So Tamaris takes Miami. I take Miami. And I don't think it'll be particularly close for these reasons. I think, Byron Jones is coming back. Xavier's going to play. That frees up the defense to blitz a little bit more. They used Wilson as a piñata, 6 sacks the last time they played, and I would dare to say that this defense is a little better than when they played last year. Listen, New York Jets fans are, got their panties in a wad because, Wilson came back and they won. He had 2 touchdowns
against a horrible team.
And he threw 2 picks and he had like 232 yards. Listen, I just think that this game will get away from the Jets and the Dolphins will, have a steady attack, a balanced, steady attack. Not put too much weight on Bridgewater to make, throws that have to win the game. The defense that the Jets play it's like a hybrid 4-high defense, meaning you're going to see a lot of underneath throws. And I think Edmonds and Mostert eat this game, not only with their carries, but, Fleur passes out of the backfield.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't see Miami losing this game. And this is a game, and I meant to say this the other day, like our expectation for the Dolphins is to be in the playoffs, regardless of who's quarterbacking this team, Bridgewater or Tua. There's an expectation to win this game because they should beat the Jets both home and away. All we want the Dolphins to do is protect home field advantage against Buffalo, right? Mm-hmm. We beat the Patriots. We beat the Buffalo Bills at home. Now, to win this division, we got to win on the road. And this is a must win on the road. And I think the Dolphins are too good to lose to a Jets team in the Meadowlands during MetLife takeover. And I'll be there.
And I'll be there. And we'll have a good time. It's going to be fun. Look, the Miami Dolphins, if we are as good as we think they are, and I do think we are as good as we say our record says we are, which is the first team in we are in first place in the entire AFC conference. Okay. I
Where'd Steven go?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're good now.
All right. I don't know what. Of course, as soon as I start giving my picks, my internet starts freezing up again.
So I'll take that back. Jones won't be available.
Byron's not. Yeah, Byron's is not going to play. And by the way, I don't see Byron play until like week 6 or 7. I said he would be back by the Steelers game, and that's where I think he'll be back. I think that the Miami Dolphins, just to keep on trying to reiterate, if they're as good as they say we are, we dominate this game, even with Teddy. This is not what this team is better, no matter who's playing at quarterback. They need to be a good team. I think that at the end of the day, Teddy Bridgewater, as long as he doesn't lose us the game, we'll be fine. We will be. This team is good enough to win on the offense and defensive side. And as long as you have a game manager, and by the way, Teddy had a good game at the Jets last year, playing with Denver, who's not as good of a team as we are. So we have to prove it here. If we lose on Sunday, I think it speaks to a lot more things than just the quarterback situation.
We're not losing Sunday. Teddy Bridgewater.
I don't think we are.
Bridgewater plays well against the Jets. He had a crappy Denver team, last year and beat them by a couple touchdowns, I believe, and I think he'll do the same this year.
Yeah, you'll see my thing with Dougley do wrong. But I mean, look, I'll say it again. I don't mind. Like, I think we're gonna beat them like 37-21 or 35-21, or 35-17, somewhere in that range. Like, not 35. We're not putting up 35. I said 25, 25-17, something like that. 26-17.
Listen, Teddy's had a week and a half to prepare for this.
Saying 30. I didn't mean 30. I meant 25 or 26.
Going into that Bengals game without much preparation with the first teamer. So, McDaniel has a game plan built around Teddy, and this will be just as much a testament on McDaniel as it is on Bridgewater and how he'll prepare, Teddy Two Gloves to win this game.
Yeah, 100%. And we'll go to 5-1, and then we come home for for fan club weekend.
4-1.
4-1. All right, man. Look, and Tamaris took the Dolphins, obviously.
She did, yes.
All right, to see my full slate of games and who I picked today, I'm not sure what time Dougley Durong will be uploading a video to his channel where I will be the special guest picker for this week's NFL game. So you'll have to go see all my picks on there. It'll be really, really good stuff. I'm excited about it. I enjoy doing that with Doug. Doug's such a good guy. Love Dougley Durong, one of the goats of the community, if not the goat of the community. And so it'll be good. So go check that out today when it drops. And I'll share it on social media when it does. What do you look forward most this weekend, man, on MetLife Takeover Week? So we got a big thing Saturday night at Slattery's Midtown Pub, which I will be at doing it live. I'm hoping that I will have
I'll be sitting there with you.
It'll be good. Yeah. So we'll be doing that live at Slattery's Midtown Pub from 7 to 9 p.m. on the air. And then the next day we will be doing a live tailgate pregame show, the Tail Greeter pregame show from the tailgate at Dolphins NYC over at MetLife. And that will be a lot of fun too. Kevin Lee said it already dropped this morning. It's already there. He must have just posted it because it wasn't there an hour ago, I thought. Well, let me drop the link. You guys can go watch it. After my show is over. After my show is over, just so y'all know. But it'll be good stuff. Yeah, let me throw that in there. There we go. Week 5. There we go. I see. It dropped 49 minutes ago while I was still on the air. Shout out to Dougley Durong, who's probably listening this morning. So I'm excited about it. Cameron, why I think Cameron's excited about it? Because Cameron doesn't have to cook this weekend. Are you excited to go to a tailgate or not hosting it?
I am. I'm looking forward to see how things are done in other places. I always am. I'm looking forward to just the overall organization of the MetLife Takeover. I mean, they have their own website and it's very well organized, so there's no question about what's going on. It's my first one, so I just want to soak it all in and enjoy the weekend.
Yeah, man, it'll be really, really good. If you're going to the MetLife Takeover, put it in the chat. I know Trucker Sean is. Trucker Sean's going to be there. I'm not sure who else is coming, but I know a few of y'all are coming. It'll be fun. And then the following week is Out of Town Fan Club Weekend. Do you want to explain to the people what Out of Town Fan Club Weekend is?
Yeah, Fan Club Weekend is shout out to Mark Angelo, NorCal Dolphin. Shout out to Scott Howell, Atlanta Dolphin Club. Organize just a wonderful get together here for all the out of town fans to come enjoy South Florida. Perfect time of the year. Our weather's perfect. They have a hotel on the beach. They organize events. We'll do bull campers Saturday night. I know they're doing an on-field photograph, I think, after the game. East 32 Dolphins Tailgate is the host tailgate for Fan Club Weekend. I don't think I announced this, but we have Sonny's Cheesesteaks on the grill for this game, which is outstanding. So we'll be serving, fresh prime rib cheesesteaks. We'll be serving smoked chicken steaks, the Philly chicken subs, rather, and just having a great time. We got a live DJ, bars, and the whole 9 yards. But I think yesterday Mark told me we've got 97 folks that are coming from out of town. So we're really excited for this Fan Club Weekend. Should be fun.
Should be a lot of fun, man. I'm excited about it. And then the following Saturday, the Dolphins host on Sunday Night Football, which I'm excited about. The Steelers, and I know the guys from the UK, Wayne, and all the gentlemen over there will be there for that, and they're throwing a big little party on Saturday, and I'll be there for that. That'll be fun.
Shout out Cat for life, man. He knows real, man. And you're right. Sonny's Cheesesteak's been featured on Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives, I think 6 times now, and is in their Hall of Fame. Which is really cool. So it's a restaurant that's in Hollywood. Good friends own it. And
so they're providing cheesesteaks for us.
Well, they're going to be on the grill cooking them live.
Let's go. So you're not on the grill. I know you're excited about that.
I'll be helping. We'll be cooking those cheesesteaks, yes.
Oh, man. And we're going to have a party. It'll be a party, my friend.
It'll be a really good time. But
Broxel will be there. Tail Greeter will be there. Who else will be there?
Actually, Nick might be coming in for the game.
Yeah. Well,
and then Sunday night, most of the folks that are coming in for Fan Club Weekend are staying throughout the week, enjoying South Florida, made a vacation out of it, and are staying for the Steelers Sunday night football game. And let me tell you, we have some big plans for that game at the tailgate. I mean, we might turn it into a damn nightclub out there. It's going to be fun.
It's going to be a lot of fun, man. If y'all need tickets for any of this, go to tailgreeter.com. Get your tailgates for it, your tailgate tickets for it, because it's going to be awesome. If you need, as a matter of fact, here's the link for the Dolphins-Vikings game for out-of-town Fan Club Weekend. That's the link right there for the Vikings-Dolphins all-you-can-eat tailgate. Make sure you guys get it. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a good time. We want to see you there. And then obviously I'll be doing the Tail Greeter pregame show from there, and it'll be good times for that too. Good times for that. All right, next 3 weekends. So again, just like I did like 23 straight days, I am at the start of 20-something straight days of either traveling or doing a live event. So I'm doing another 20-something straight days of traveling or going to or doing a live event or doing a show.
And what remind me, is it the Texans or the Bears after the Steelers?
I don't know, but I will not be at it. I can guarantee you that. I'm still thinking about Chicago. I have not committed to Chicago yet. It depends on how everything goes.
Steelers. Oh, we have the Lions Halloween weekend. Forgot about that.
The Lions.
And then the Bears. So I'm going to the Bears game.
The Bears.
The Bears.
The Bears. All right. It is 10:55. Where are your kids at? What I'm going to do right now, we didn't have Wildin' Out Wednesday yesterday. And I don't think we're going to have it today, but I'm going to allow a couple of you to come on the panel. We'll do some mini panels this morning. I'll let you guys talk about whatever it is you guys want to talk about, and we'll get into it. It'll be good times, and I'll let you guys take over the show a little bit today. Full bands will, day bands will be in effect. Full bands will be in effect. Whatever you guys want to do, the show will be yours for the rest of the day today. So let's have a good show. Let's be nice to each other. Let's love each other. I know that's not going to happen. There's going to be some craziness that goes on. But yeah, let's go. Let's go. Miami Sports Music's #1 Miami fan morning show. We're going to do Dolphin chat segment now, Dolphin chat segment. So it'll be you guys coming on and doing that. Yeah. Whoa! Don't show. You turned off your camera, but you didn't mute your mic, and we just heard you like straight choke to death. Stop choking.
Straight coughing.
Straight coughing. All right, let me put the link in here. There we go. All right, I'm opening it up. First person we got on today is Rashad. Good morning, Rashad.
Good morning, Steven. Missed you, my guy.
Hi, man. I missed you. It, didn't do a show Monday because I, was needed that time off, and then didn't do a show yesterday because I was at a charity event. But I'm here today, man.
Yeah, I mean, I miss you, but not dealing with the toxicness of our fan base was a relief.
Was a relief for a while.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully we can win this week and then kind of put a lot of that stuff to bed, and then maybe Tua comes back next week or the week after, and we'll see what happens, man. It'll be very interesting to see. It'll be very interesting to see.
I tell you like this, depending on how Teddy performs, it's his job to lose right now. If he goes out there and ball out, they're going to
while Tua's out. While Tua's out, yes, yeah. While Tua's out, yes. I don't.
I mean, Tua could come back healthy, but if if Teddy is rolling, I think it gives them the leash to let Tua.
No, wrong. Disagree.
I hate it. I love Tua. Now I love Tua.
This is not.
But
see, Rashad, you talk about toxicity. This is where the division comes in, my friend. Now, let me say something. I'm not mad at your point of view. I think you're wrong in general. This is Tua's team. Okay, 100%. And the moment Tua's ready to come back, Tua's coming back. Okay, let's just throw that out there. It doesn't matter if he goes out 1-0, 3. It does not matter. Doesn't matter. This is Tua's team. You can tell me all you want, and I'm telling you, I believe you're wrong, buddy. I believe you're wrong, good friend. I'm just.
I hope I'm wrong. I hope.
I'm just going to tell you that you are, and it'll make you feel better. Teddy can go out and throw 5 touchdowns on Sunday. Tua comes back the next week. He's starting. He is. Like, there's no ands, ifs, or buts about it. It's not even a question. It's not even a question. Let me bring in somebody else to the conversation, Mr. Greg. Hello, Greg. How are you this morning, buddy?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing great, man. How are you?
I'm great.
What do you what do you want to talk about? Do you agree with Rashad? Do you disagree? Did you want to talk about something else?
No. Even if Teddy goes out there and throws for 8 touchdowns, 500 yards, Tua will be starting
the following week. Yeah. 100%.
I truly believe with how the NFL is reacting to this concussion nonsense, because it's been going on for years.
Now, let me say this, Rashad. Let's say he goes out and throws 5 touchdowns. Maybe he doesn't come back. Maybe they say, you know what? Let's take another week off for you, Tua. We'll just do another week where you're off. It won't be that.
Throws 4 more touchdowns. Then what?
Then they'll if Tua comes back when he's healthy and they give him the clearance that he's a go. He's starting. That much I know.
QB1. It doesn't matter what Teddy does.
Yeah, it does not matter what Teddy does. It doesn't matter. It does not matter.
The whole offense around Tua and his skills, not Teddy's.
His skill, right. I'm just going off of the concussion alone. It has nothing to do with Tua. It has everything to do with the league.
So we're actually kind of saying the same thing. If Teddy balls out, then they will be less motivated for him to come back as quickly. How about that? That's a fair statement.
Right. That's pretty much exactly what I'm saying.
That's what you want to say. If Teddy balls out, the Dolphins will be less motivated for Tua to come back quicker, sooner rather than later.
I think
they'll be more inclined to say, Tua, why don't you sit out another game or two? As long as Teddy's doing this, just relax. But the moment you're ready to come back, we're bringing you back as QB1.
Yeah. I think the motivation would be get 100% healthy. Like let's get it to the point where we don't have to question.
But then it goes into what is 100%. All right, let me.
Exactly. So we don't know.
Somebody that I know is going to cause a lot of division and stir, who I love and I personally respect. Let's bring on Pete. Good morning, Pete. Pete, get off. Take yourself off mute.
Earth to Pete.
Earth to Pete. Pete, you're in the back room. You got to take yourself off mute.
Petey boy.
Phone calls as soon as I come up. What up, Steven? How you been, buddy? I missed you yesterday. I wanted to jump on your show so bad.
I
know.
Oh my God, Steven. Cam, what's up, Cam? Everybody up here?
Pete, as much as whatever, we all know what happened.
Dude,
I respect you respecting the platform. I respect you respecting the platform and that you didn't take it personally from me. So I appreciate that.
No, man. Listen. You know why? Because Pete is actually finally excited as a Dolphin fan. We have Teddy Land.
Oh,
you guys,
they can still
listen,
ban you today, just so you know. You're not.
I am so excited as a fan now for finally. I've been waiting for this moment as a fan. I feel like you guys feel with Tua, but now I got Teddy Land. I hope Teddy Bridgewater's listening. I hope Teddy Bridgewater's listening. I need him to know that he needs to hold it down for the city of Miami, all surrounding Florida. Forget Tampa. We need Miami to be the staple of the state. And right now, we have it. There's no limitations at quarterback. You hear what you said, Stephen? Bro, listen to me. If this guy throws 5 touchdowns, which easily can happen because this is a revenge game, the Jets signed Teddy Bridgewater to a big deal, then cut him the same year for Sam Darnold. They disrespected that guy. He's going to go out and throw 5 touchdowns. Tua's going to sit another week, and then he plays the Vikings, and everybody's going to be like, oh, this is a big game. He's going to blow them out of the water, too. We got to forget about Tua. This is what I'm saying, Steven. We have a powerhouse offense now with Teddy. I honestly feel we have a powerhouse offense, and Teddy needs to come through, man.
Pete, can I ask you a couple questions, Pete? All right, so first things
questions,
first.
But I really don't have much time, my guy, but go ahead.
Okay, all right, first things first. Number one, I totally disagree with you. But with that being said.
Oh, my God. What do you disagree with?
Can I finish? Let me finish. With that, I'm going to ask you some questions. With that being said, if Teddy balls out, I will be gladly to come up here on Victory Monday and say, you know what? Pete was right. Teddy looked good. That's all I'll say.
Teddy, you better be listening.
He was right. Teddy looks good.
But let me tell you.
Now, hold on. I'm not done. I'm not done, Pete, because I got questions for you. If we win and it's 27-17, which is what I predict, I think that's what we're going to win by. And Teddy throws 1 or 2 touchdowns.
That's a good score.
Throws 1 or 2 touchdowns. I'm not getting up here and saying that. I'm saying that he did what he was supposed to do as a backup quarterback and valiantly, did what he needed to do. But if he, for any way, shape, or form, loses us the game, you better come up here that following Monday and say, bro, I was wrong about Teddy. That's all I want from you. That's all I want from you if that happens.
Well, I mean, I'm just excited. I can see. Look, you got to think about it. Imagine what Mike McDaniel was able to do with limited Tua. You guys don't understand.
What do you mean with limited Tua?
Bro, it can easily get way more efficient and better. There's going to be highlights now offensively. Did you not see Teddy and the Bengals? Like, that wasn't better to you guys already?
Lost us the game, Pete. Teddy lost us the game. Call it what you want. He lost us the game.
But didn't the offense look better? And that was him coming off the bench. Imagine him preparing, playing with these guys,
Pete,
getting under the,
You are not going to sit here and say that Teddy looked better. Teddy lost us the game on Thursday night.
Bro,
point blank.
Okay, that interception, you guys want to cry. But like I said, what you're not taking into effect is he came off the bench mid-game for this. You got to give him a full game. And I honestly feel
we sure are.
But
we're going to see. We're going to find
out. So the little tad bit, little visual we got last week coming off the bench, not even warmed up like other quarterbacks, that didn't look good enough to destroy this Jets team?
No. It didn't look good enough at all.
Pete, as a Dolphin fan, I want Teddy to do well this week. I want the Dolphins to win.
Dude, you know what? Look, Teddy, you know what? You know what's crazy? That beautiful spin, that beautiful spin move that Teddy did, that little beautiful spin move that Teddy did, and then he scrambled. He displayed his speed right there. He had a little speed that I didn't even think he had. Teddy's underrated. You guys are under. Now, here's the thing. If he fails Steven, I'm excited as well because I predicted that we have the quarterback that's going to win Rookie of the Year. Never forget that. I predicted that here. Skylar Thompson, all he will need is 11 games, and we will win Rookie Quarterback
Pete,
of the Year.
You can't
Never
sit here
forget
and preach
that.
to me, Skylar, when you're preaching to me that Teddy's the guy to take us to the promised
because
land.
look, look, Steven,
either one or the other.
I'm basing what we can do, Teddy can do with this offense. Now, I know what Teddy's been before as a player. He's gotten concussion multiple times. If this line doesn't hold up, he's going to get concussed easily because he's getting concussions all the time. We've seen it through the years.
Hey, Steven.
So I think I think Skylar.
I'm not going to let you get away with that nonsense you just said about.
What did I just say?
That one interception is not what caused us to lose the game.
It was a big
just at the end of the game.
There were other reasons.
No, because there's a lot of other reasons that accumulated to us losing the game. We had turnovers in the first half, and we had dropped touchdowns in the first half. That's 4-point differential. We had a missed extra point. That was an extra point on the board that could have been made. There was a field goal that was missed. That was another 3 points. There was a lot of other things that accumulated to us losing this game. And no. And we had the lead in the fourth quarter in this game. That if we'd have had those extra points in the first half, we'd have had a bigger lead in the fourth quarter, and we wouldn't have lost this game. Stop it. Stop it.
No,
that's true, Crypto. Thank you for that.
No, we would have had a bigger lead than that 1-point lead in the fourth quarter if we wouldn't have had those miscues in the first half.
Stop
it. I like guys like Crypto.
Let's stop making that interception.
I love Crypto. Crypto, let me ask you a question, Crypto.
Crypto,
let me ask you a question real quick, Crypto. Did the offense, and listen to me, Teddy coming off the bench, did the offense at least look good enough to win that Bengals game last week?
They were good enough. That 65-yard pass to the 3-yard line that we didn't cash in on when we didn't run the ball.
Shout out to Capitan. He said this, the longest quarterback pass in the NFL so far this season. You guys know who it is?
Teddy Bridgewater to Tyreek Hill.
Teddy Bridgewater.
And Tyreek has shown
get ready for big plays.
He can win games just by his presence alone.
Hey, Teddy.
That right there. We have enough upgrade on the offense.
Pete,
alone
didn't you say
to
the
be
same
able
thing
to,
about Jacoby Brissett
what Daffy
last
Duck
year?
compiled this.
Yeah, but Jacoby Brissett is more like from West Palm, bro. You heard this guy? He grew up in Bunch Park. He's gonna have the whole city of Opalaka in that stadium. Okay, it's about to get real. Listen, hey, listen. Teddy B is home team.
I'm gonna need you to cut it out.
Okay,
Pete, I need you to stop because
he is really deal home team. Look, back-to-back revenge games. I haven't had a haircut due to the storm. My hair's already getting long right now. Steven, in 2 more weeks, I might be able to lock it up into some dreadlocks. I might be out here dreading my hair. If Teddy is out here throwing 5 touchdowns a game, man, it's gonna be unreal. I'm gonna have my Teddy jersey up here. I love it. I'm finally excited. I can't wait.
Pete, he's going to have to wait to the Minnesota game to have his breakout game because this is not the week he's going to have it.
Hey, Pete, if Teddy had let his wide receiver enough, he wouldn't have had to bobble and throw that up in double cover.
I hope you're right, though, Pete, that he do have a breakout game this game, but
I feel it, man. I feel that he's going to take this game personal, Crypto. Imagine a team giving you a big contract. Wait, Steven, imagine a team giving you a big contract and then the same year saying, bye-bye, we just drafted Sam Darnold, get out of here. Imagine, he's going to unleash versus the Jets. Did you guys see when he got in the game, how he dapped everybody up in the huddle? He gave everybody a dap, like, let's go do this. I felt it, man. I feel like this team is better equipped with Teddy. Man, yeah, we lost, but we could have easily won that game. But, man, y'all got to support Teddy. Listen to what I'm telling you.
Why did we lose?
We lost. It was a 6-point game.
But what we don't do is sit here and say that
too many miscues and turnovers in the first half that didn't allow us to have a bigger lead in the fourth quarter.
Are you serious right
now? It would have never came down to that interception.
We were playing the defending AFC champions coming off 4 days rest against the Buffalo
we were playing,
bro.
They also was coming off a 4-game rest to stop it.
Bro,
Both teams
Teddy
were coming off a
it.
4-game rest. Stop it.
Teddy came
Both
back
teams
off
had the same
bench.
amount of rest.
Listen,
Floor is yours. I was quiet. Go ahead.
made it to the Super Bowl. Can you believe that? He could the team.
Oh no, Pete's fading away.
Yep.
No, Pete.
I think they're coming to get you. Tua and I said nope. They said nope. I didn't kick Pete off. Just so y'all know, I did not kick Pete off. That was karma. That was the world coming after you, saying we're not allowing that foolishness. No, sir, not gonna happen. I love Pete, but his teeth.
Steven, you got to be more objective.
What do you mean? I got to be more objective? Are you kidding me?
You're basing your picks and emotions off feelings.
No,
you got to be more objective. And the earth doesn't it's great to be a Miami Dolphins fan. I've been one for 40 years, but the world don't revolve around the Miami Dolphins. I'm sorry to say that. Don Shula's in the grave.
Did you just hear what you said about last week's game?
Me?
No, Crypto. Like,
yeah,
we lost the game, but it wasn't Teddy's fault. I'm not blaming Teddy either.
But you were
it's not solely Teddy's fault.
No,
that's what I said.
Listen,
you was trying to solely put it on Teddy. And I put perspective on it.
The Dolphins' offense had to put up more points, and we were leading more in the fourth quarter. It wouldn't have mattered that Tua threw that in.
No, if you listen to me long enough and listen more intuitively, you would see that I would always be putting perspective on it. I'm just not going to be gaslit.
You just blamed the team. You just blamed the loss on the first half turnover, and said the second half turnover wasn't.
No, I didn't blame. No, you're not listening. Once again, I said it was cumulative. I said it was cumulative. It was not only that.
Know,
if you open your ears, you understand what I'm saying. You need to listen more intuitively. Yeah, I said they contributed just as much to our loss. Keyword just as much.
But you said
calm
not
down,
Teddy.
Crypto.
You said
calm
not
down.
Teddy.
No, I said just as much because I was isolating the fact that he was only blaming Teddy.
Cameron,
I gave it more context.
Cameron's not feeling good, guys. Cameron's out of here.
Maybe I misheard you. What I heard.
Exactly, you did. If you listen more intuitively, you would heard what I said.
If you would listen to what I'm saying, what I heard you
say. Because I'm not going to have you gaslight me.
I'm not gaslighting
Nobody's gaslighting.
Yeah, you are.
You ain't hear a word I said because you're so.
No, because you're lying on me. You said I only blamed it on the first half, and I was bringing up the first half miscues as a reason why it contributed as well as the interception. Listen, no, I was bringing up. No, I said it's not only Teddy's fault.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Crypto.
You go keep screaming like a little kid, or you go listen like an
adult? No, because you're trying to lie and gaslight, and I'm not gonna let you get away with it.
What you said? You said it wasn't Teddy's
fault. You're not understanding what I said. Because he was only blaming. No, he was only blaming Teddy. And I came up here and to debunk that logic that was only Teddy. That's why I brought up the other stuff.
Hey, Crypto.
To contribute as well as the interception.
Crypto, stop yelling. Calm down. It's okay. We know that you feel like that. And if you heard all of what I said, okay.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna let that hang, Steven, and just let that hang in the ether that Teddy was the only problem. That's why it was necessary to bring the other miscues into the equation along with the Teddy interception.
Okay. We're going to talk like this now.
It was no reason to reiterate Teddy's problem because you already said it.
He clearly doesn't, so I'm going to just let him keep going.
I'm de-escalating the situation. Okay. Basically, what you said was there was a cumulative reasons why the Dolphins lost that game on Thursday night. And one of those,
and that was the message, because that was only the miscues in the first half that was able to be brought up as a cumulative effect.
Now, what did he just say? What did I? Go ahead, Steven.
I'm trying. I have a couple people in the back room. Stay on. I'm going to bring you guys on. And one of those reasons is the Teddy interception, which I believe came at a crucial moment in the game, because after that, the team.
Why was it a crucial moment in the game? Because
it was the fourth quarter. It was the fourth quarter when he threw it.
Because of the cumulative effect of the miscues in the first half.
Dude,
that's the only reason why that became a factor.
Okay. All right. So here's what we can look at it from two different perceptions. The fact of the matter is, the moment Teddy threw that interception, everything else went sideways. The everything did, and that includes
Like
the
what?
defense and how everything was.
The defense get paid too.
I get it. I understand it, but you're also like, if
They
you
earn a
think about
paycheck
it,
too.
I understand that.
The special
They
teams
scored-
earns a paycheck too.
They scored 13 points in the final 8 minutes of that game, 10 minutes of that game. Okay. They and if you look at it before that, we had held that team. What was the score? 14 points, 15-14. Is that right, guys? Am I right in saying that?
No.
Was it
No,
15-13?
we trailed by 1 point in that game in the fourth quarter.
What was the
and then
score?
we took the lead.
16-15 when we were trailing.
Okay, so we had held that team to 16. The defending
No.
AFC
They
champ-
were trailing by
We
1 point,
had
and
our
we kicked
defense-
it, and that's when they
our
scored that
defense
touchdown.
had held them to 15 points going into that fourth quarter. That's impressive. Coming off 4 days rest and everything. You take the Tua injury, which those guys, they're a team. It sucked the life out of them. It did. I'm not
Tua
saying
played
that
off, but Tua did play almost a full first half, though.
I understand that, and there were things that I think he could have done better, or did, whatever. But the reality of the situation is they were coming off 4 days rest, playing off one of the most heated, most battled games they had ever played in the last few years. That was a rough game, and if you go back and listen,
Steven.
It's the reality though, because Josh.
It's the reality. Both teams came off a short rest.
Okay. Cincinnati didn't come off a game like we had. They can say all they want.
Whose fault is that?
It's nobody's fault. It's just the reality of the situation. These are not excuses. They're realities. All right. They're facts. They happened. Josh Allen clearly on Friday in his press conference said, "You know what? I didn't feel I haven't felt
and
right."
They recovered. They won a game too.
Well, they were. That's because Baltimore doesn't know how to close out games, but that's neither here or there.
Yeah, that's exactly neither here or there. They did it multiple times this season, but I'm not going to say against the other teams they did it against.
Now, with that being said, you have to understand Teddy's job as a backup is to come in the middle of a game. That's what normally when a backup comes in is in the middle of the game. You got to be ready to go whenever. Okay. Do I think Teddy did a bad job Thursday night? No, I don't think he did a bad job. I don't think he did a great job, and I think his interception was the thing that swayed the game in Cincinnati's favor.
But efficiency-wise, his numbers was actually better than Tua's.
I never said that he played bad. I just said that was a crucial interception that led to swaying how that game ended up going. Okay, and that's what I think to it. Now, with that being said. Okay, now that I've said all that and I put all that in perspective, Teddy's clearly good enough to win football games for this team. He is. I'm not saying he's not. And Teddy's clearly good enough to win on Sunday in the Meadowlands at the Jets. He is. And I hope that he does. And I hope he has a big game. And I think he can have a big game. But I think it has more to do with how good this football team is rather than who the quarterback is. Okay? Now,
but that's all you had to say, Steven.
That's what I was saying. You weren't letting
this
me
team was built to be piloted by Daffy Duck.
Crypto, you were yelling.
It's a quarterback-friendly team.
I'm just trying to say how Crypto was.
Doesn't mean every quarterback is going perfect. You got to understand that too. Just because it's built for every quarterback to win in this system doesn't mean every quarterback is going to be perfect in this system.
Okay, so as I told our friend of the channel, Mr. Pete, that if he comes out and has a bad game, I just want him up here the next day saying, you know what, I was wrong. Not everybody. That's all I want him to do. And it has nothing to do with I want him to be right or I want him to be wrong.
But Steven is still game by game basis, though. Even if he craps the bed against the Jets, doesn't mean he's going to crap the bed the following week.
I never said that he was going to.
Everybody hope Pete is right, but doesn't mean it could be team by team basis, though. Doesn't matter.
I got love.
I mean, he could play good against the Jets and crap against the Vikings, or vice versa. It doesn't mean nothing.
No, you're a real one. Steven, stop it. Teddy played better than Tua, so stop praising Tua. Gentlemen, did I say Tua's name
Who
at all?
gave praise to
Who
Tua,
said Tua's name? Who said Tua's name? Never said Tua's name.
I appreciate that, Terrence. Good looking out, buddy.
For what? He's wrong. I didn't say Tua's name at all.
Well, no one said really. Well, but I'm just saying. No, he was saying. No, he was saying that Terrence. I know Terrence. He's a good buddy from Virginia.
Terrence is my guy.
Hey,
I love Terrence, but he knows I wasn't. He knows I didn't say that man's name. Stop it. Stop it, Terrence.
No, I wasn't crapping on Teddy or Tua in that sense. I'm just giving perspective on the team.
Well, let me tell you, you were getting very
defensive. Team loss
real quick.
Exactly, because it's a team loss. It's not a Teddy loss.
Well, Teddy was
and technically, statistically, this loss goes to Tua because he started the game and he was trailing when he left the game.
Okay, now you brought up Tua. Okay, all right. Let me bring in other people.
I'll just do that out there as far as
I know you were. You just wanted to make sure all the points were covered because we can't have an argument or a debate without making sure we say everything.
No, Steven. They both was there.
Like, how many hot dogs do I owe you?
You owe me 12 now.
No, I don't. One hot dog. One. How do we go from 1 to 12 hot dogs? You're killing me, Crypto.
This is inflation, Steven.
Killing me.
It's inflation, Steven. It's another 2.
Inflation.
Listen, it's going up. It's going up by the minute.
All right, Matthew Finns talk. Good. Matthew talks Finns. Good morning, Crypto or Capital Life. Good morning. How are y'all doing? Please help me.
Good morning. First time on the show.
Help me out here. Steven owes me another 2 hot dogs.
I'm not sure.
Hey, Matthew, man, welcome to this is Matthew's first time on the channel, y'all.
Love it. Not on the channel, on the show.
Okay, well, where are you calling from, man?
Florida.
Florida. Where in Florida?
South.
Were you okay with the hurricane? Are you good?
Yeah, it didn't hit us. It's just a bunch of winds and rain.
Okay. All right. Just want to make sure all my people are good. All right, Matthew, what do you have to say about the Dolphins, man? The floor is yours.
I mean, Teddy was okay. He wasn't great, but it was an okay game if you look at the stats.
Correct. I agree.
And it's not Tua that got hurt early. It was not our fault that we had to bring in Teddy. I wouldn't. I mean, even though the stats is a loss on Tua, I wouldn't put the loss on Tua.
I would. I know the stat says that, but I wouldn't either. I agree with you. We agree so far.
Well, now you're ready to agree that the team lost, like I said from the beginning.
You wouldn't put the loss on Tua, even though we all agree he held on to the ball too long?
I mean, NFL statistics dictate that will be the case, but that's not what it should be.
Here we go with the
saying
politics.
Tua's lost because he got hurt? Is that what you're saying?
I mean, it's pretty much in a nutshell. You get hurt, you don't finish.
So if he got hurt,
it's Tua's loss because of the way it's the situation of the game. Because it started. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's the only reason.
Yeah, I'm trying to pack. I'm trying to finalize things here. I got a whole flight to go on, and you guys are just, yo. I am on 10. I'm like, what are we talking? I'm like, what are we talking about here? Like,
we're talking about rushing Tua comeback. We're rushing Tua back. That's what we're talking about.
Then we're talking about Teddy numbers weren't that great.
I hope they don't rush him back.
Hold on. His stats weren't that great.
Hold
on, pause. Whoever sat there and said Teddy numbers weren't that great is a blasphemous liar. Okay?
Matthew said that, and I agree with Matthew.
And no, what you talking about? He had 200 plus yards and a half.
Yeah, he could have had a 400-yard game.
How many touchdowns?
Hold on,
pause. How many touchdowns?
He had one.
Yeah, he did. He had.
He had. Hold on, let me finish. In a half, that interception was a bad route by Gesicki. That muppet that's supposed to be a wideout.
Or talking about a garbage time when we were down by 2 scores and he on that last drive.
What are you talking about? No, Teddy threw a touchdown before garbage time. Stop it, Steven. He actually had our first touchdown of that game. Stop. Go back and watch the game. Not me yelling like Crypto was. Let me finish.
Right, correct.
Because that interception was not an interception, but we're so in our feelings about what happened to our starting quarterback that we're not going to throw a challenge flag. We forgot that part of the game.
Yeah, we were ready.
That was supposed to be a challenge. It was not supposed to be an interception. We still could have been in that damn game. And on top of that, it was a bad route by the wide receiver. It was a blitz, and he's supposed to run a hitch. He ran a corner, a post, like a muppet instead of reading the play properly. So again, Teddy had a good day. And if you want to accumulate everything in totality, Teddy had the same stats that Tua would have had.
Calm down, Vanja. Why is everybody yelling?
No, because you didn't make the point, man. Hey, I kept telling you guys, man.
You and Chris need to whisper. I'm telling you both need to whisper and make your points.
Hey, real quick.
Okay, we're going to whisper now. We're going to whisper.
Real quick. Look, man, I think we've been saying it for a while now. And that game, VJ made a great point. That game, if you break down the All-22 and look at that play, Gesicki is a liability, bro. Like, we've been saying it, in that route, he ran wrong. That's not on Teddy.
If he breaks it to the outside, then he's wide open for a touchdown.
I will never blame Mike Gesicki for a route because he seems like he knows what's going on more than the quarterback.
He don't.
Because even in that game,
he don't. He's supposed to be a horrible route runner.
We know this.
We know Gesicki trash.
Rami in total was shy, but on that particular play, he didn't know what was going on better than the quarterback.
Larry broke it down and showed the film, bro. Larry showed it, bro. He showed it. Gesicki ran the wrong route.
Every week, I watch Mike Gesicki tell players where they need to line up.
But we're talking about that.
That's true. He does that. But on that play, he didn't.
Where to line up.
That's true, Rashad. But on that particular play, he didn't do that.
Maybe Teddy threw the wrong route.
Teddy threw the ball exactly where it was supposed to be.
I don't know what.
No, Rashad.
You gotta see the film, bro.
No, Rashad, you gotta watch the film because that was a mirror concept. The receiver on the top ran the same route. It was a mirror concept. Gesicki ran the wrong route. And Teddy threw the ball exactly where he was supposed to be. Because if Teddy went through the other side, it would have been a completed pass. We
promise you, Rashad. We promise you, bro. We promise you, bro.
I just can't.
I'm not letting that muppet of a fake tight end off the hook.
I can't blame a receiver who knows every other
No, he's not a receiver.
And then a backup quarterback.
Okay, so can you blame him for not producing? Can you blame him for that? Because he hasn't produced or done jack bleep, bro.
Yeah, I blame
except
him
for that one touchdown and that comeback game.
As a receiver or tight end.
We got hold on.
As a receiver or tight end.
No, we got on Wilson last year. Who was the wide receiver? Who was the wide receiver? We all jumped down his throat because he was getting paid $10 million and wasn't getting it was guess what? We're paying $10 million. We're paying $10 million to this receiver.
Hey, just so y'all know, Teddy Bridgewater. Hold on, calm down. Teddy Bridgewater threw 14 of 23 passes for 193 yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 interception. If Tua hadn't done that in any way, shape, or form, the world would have been set on fire.
And we lost.
Bad he was.
Yeah, and he threw a pick at
What are you talking about?
Yeah.
We're sitting here saying Teddy's great with those same numbers. Tua did that.
Steven, no.
We better hope.
You said 200.
We threw an interception at the end of the game. We'll be blaming the team. Is what we're saying.
You said 200 in 1 half.
Everybody's mics are popping. Calm down.
No, he had 70-something yards at halftime.
No, in a half.
He had 70-something yards. He had 71 yards, I believe, at halftime. Don't do that.
So how many yards did Tua have?
Who had 71 yards at halftime?
He had 193 yards total, bro.
How many yards?
He didn't throw that 70-something yard pass until the second half.
He had 71 yards at halftime.
Bro, because we were gashing him with the run the second half.
Trust me, I was at
we
the
were gashing him with the
watching.
run, and then we stopped with the run to throw to Gesicki, and that's what caused us the game, bro.
He only had one drive in the second half.
I know, because we were running the ball effectively for once. We were running the ball, bro.
Because I know I'm tripping right now. Am I freezing?
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay. I just wanted to know, what was Tua's number, Steven?
8 of 14, 110 yards and a touchdown. I mean,
all right.
An interception.
So let's do this.
His QBR was 50-something. Was 56.
Let's just take 3 quarters. Let's take 3 quarters of
QBR is not based on you getting hurt because he had a 100 when he had the same numbers against Baltimore last year. So it's not based on you
we all saw what Tua did in the fourth quarter against Baltimore. You take Tua's first 3 quarters in that game, nobody was impressed with it. He was decent, but they weren't impressive.
Let's go to the Patriots game.
4 quarters in a game, he's going to do something. He's going to make
plays. What about the Patriots game? What was his stats for the Patriots game?
He did exactly.
It was the first game of the year. Don't count it. I already told you guys that.
It was the first game of the year.
He had the same numbers. In the Patriots game.
We good in the Patriots game. What are we talking about now?
No. We just Rashad. We just talking about he did better in the Patriots game with the same numbers, but his rating was lower with the same numbers in this game.
Quick question, man.
He threw a lot of bad passes.
I got a quick question for all you guys, man. Quick question. Would you guys? I mean, I know we want to win, man, but does it cost us having to lose a guy for the end of the season. Like, I mean, if this guy comes back out here, are we really trying to rush him back in 2 weeks, knowing that we have the microscope on us and he'll be coming back against the Steelers? Like, are we looking to win that bad that we would put this guy in harm's way at any cost, bro? Like,
so let's get.
That's why we need Cap. That's why we need Teddy to play well enough so he can give Tua a rest.
We're good.
So hold on, no.
But if Teddy doesn't play good, that's it.
If Tua, hold on, if Tua said he's good to if Tua said he is good to go, then and doctors clear him, you put him out there. Ain't no rushing at that point.
100%.
What do you mean rushing it? They don't care. They don't care who the opponent is.
We can't trust what Tua says. We know that.
Well,
he's going to go out there.
But did you hear what Bonjo said?
I don't want anybody to play against Pittsburgh.
If doctors clear him, if they do everything the way that they're supposed to do, then
which they haven't. Which they haven't.
Like they did.
Nobody's telling them to put him out on the field right now, Cap. They're saying
I get that, but the doctors have not done the best of his interests. We all know that, or they wouldn't have fired him.
We don't know that. That's a conspiracy theory. We don't know that.
Cap, you can't say that.
No, the doctors are fired for PR.
You guys cannot be naive. You guys cannot be naive and think that these guys are trying to rush him back out there at any cost, bro. Especially when he's supposed to be in a contract year. It's a contract year for him.
He's right.
Cap, hold on. Now here's where this is where your wording matters, because then it goes to the NFL needs to increase their concussion protocol, because
that's without being said. Okay, that's without being said. I'm talking about our personal problem right now.
Yeah, but so
this is our personal interest.
I get
it's
you.
not right.
I understand that, Cap. What I'm telling you is, according to concussion protocol, the way that it's set through the NFL, Tua passed it. He did exactly there's nothing they did wrong.
Look,
according to that.
Steven, I'm real tired too, man. And I posted this on the chat earlier, man, of us comparing our situation to T. Higgins and anybody else. Those players have never gone through the amount of injuries our player has. So, I mean, let's just have some compassion,
This is, and we do.
Listen, Cap.
Nobody's saying that they're not.
Cap, cool story. This is Tua. I'm going to keep it 100 with you guys. I'm going to keep it all the way up.
I agree with you guys. Right? It's his choice. Hold on,
Cap.
With you guys.
At the end of the day, this is a job. Okay? He's getting paid to do his job. He could choose to quit his job, or he could continue his job. Or we could force him out of his job. But if they said, hey, if my HR team say, hey, Joe, hold on.
I agree. The only thing I'm saying.
Hold on, Cap. Let me just add to that. Let me just co-sign for that. Not only does he know that, here's what I will also add. If the NFL is doing everything under the rules that are written, which supposedly they have, and are also trying to make it better, which it sounds like they're going to, and the player then knows, and the NFLPA say, you know what, we're working together to create better health protocols so that this we deter this from happening in the future, and the player X, doesn't even have to be to it, we'll just say player X understands that there's going to be injuries that could occur while playing this game, and they decide that they still want to move forward. To me, they know, everything's been set forward. They're trying to make it better. They're trying to figure out ways to prevent it from happening more in the future. And the player knows that there's a possibility of that person getting hurt. What else do you want from the team, the player, or the fans for that matter? You know?
No, I get it, man. At the end of the day, it's nothing that we can do. He's a grown man. He'll make his own decisions. I get that, man. I'm on board with you guys. I get it. But, I mean, you have to think about it, man. You got specialists. You got guys out there that are known to be specialists, and everybody's downplaying what they're saying when it comes to them saying, look, he needs to take a step backwards, not forward. He cannot be out there. That's true. And we're downplaying the professionals.
No, so
I'm downplaying the professionals. Hold on, I'm downplaying it because they didn't say anything before that concussion. When he was at the pit, nobody's been saying that. It's because it would happen on national TV, prime time, and everybody saw him post on what is called the fencing. That's what it's called.
No, yeah, we're the guinea pig. We're the guinea pig.
No, we're the guinea pig. No, understand the era that we live in, the culture that we're in right now. This social media culture. Really, it pretty much magnified the situation. That the fact that everybody was able to zoom in, okay, look at it, and now everybody sees it. And it's in prime time. So that's why it's blowing up like it is.
Let me
Just
say
to keep
this.
it a buck.
I don't know, man.
I don't agree with Vonjo 100% on there. I think his theory is valid and it has points to it. But let me just kind of state this from the way that I look at it. If the team did everything that they need to do,
put in an order for me, Cap.
If the NFL does everything that they need to do to cover, to say, look, this is what we're doing. And both parties know that it's not enough and they need to make it better, which both parties are saying, okay, the NFLPA and the NFL, and they're trying to elevate it. Great. Now, to go into our situation as is, I agree. I think that these so-called experts never said anything publicly and now only have the opportunity to do it because of what happened. And
dude, they made a movie. I think that's public enough.
And hold on. And then to go specifically to Dr. Bennett Amanu, who I know I'm butchering his name and I apologize because I don't want to be disrespectful to him. I feel like he's saying that for one of two things. Number one, or one of a few things, not one of two, one of a few. Number one, he's coming at it from he's seeing what these injuries do to people after their death. He's seen what it is. He sees what happens to these players at the latter stages of what CTE is at its worst. So you're asking somebody to have a viewpoint about a game that directly caused this thing that's been horrible that he's seen through life and through death, and nobody knows more about it than him.
Man, all I know is
hold on, let me finish. I'm not done. Let me finish. And so do I take what he says? Yes. But am I going to take what he says with a grain of salt? Yes, because he's looking at it from this is the worst of the worst that can happen. So is there a chance for that happening to Tua? Yes. Now, am I going to feel bad as a fan if Tua decides to keep playing? No, Tua knows those injuries. Do I want him to keep playing as a fan? Yes, but as a father, as a husband, I also want to do what's best for him. If he decided tomorrow, Tua said, you know what, it's not worth it, and I retire, I'm never going to blame him. I'm never going to be mad at him. And I'll be the first person to say, you know what, I'm glad you did what you did. You felt that was more important for you, and props to you, bro. I would 100, and I would still rock a Tua jersey, and I would still be a Tua-ear and love that man and I would just be a big fan of his if that's the decision he decided to make. Do I think he's going to make that? I don't know, but it's going to be his choice to make it, and I'm not going to sit here as a fan and say the NFL's wrong or the Dolphins are wrong. No, they're not. The players know what's at stake here. They know.
So everybody's guilt-free. Everybody's getting away with this.
Why does it have to be guilt-free to something?
Look, all I'm saying, out of this whole situation, I just heard McDaniel say throughout preseason, when Water wasn't practicing or playing, I'm never going to put a player in harm's way because we're trying to help them from injuring themselves, like keeping them from injuring themselves when they can't have their own decision making.
Okay, so
I would think this is any different. And that was a whole month.
And you know what, Cap? That's a fair point, but I look at it differently, and here's how I look at it. He's keeping him from having an injury that prevents him from playing on the field allow him to play for the best of his ability with his foot, I think is what it was. It was an ankle or his foot. And if you play on that too much, you're gonna have to have surgery, and it could affect your speed, it could affect your everything, right? Just coming at it from a football perspective so people don't lose their minds. Now, with the thing with Tua is, he might be look at what could happen to him. But in that particular circumstance, is him playing going to is it something that is going to hurt? There's the unknown. We don't have enough information. We can assume that it's probably going to have a negative output. I think that from a standpoint of whatchamacallit, from a short-term theory or a long-term, but there's still so much unknown from it. I can actually see that point, and I would want to hear it more. You know what, Cap? I'm thinking about it and talking about it out loud. That's a particular situation that I need to think about more because I like that theory and I would want to think about that more. So, you know what? I'm going to stop what I'm saying and think about that a little bit more because that's a very
I think everybody should think, man. Everybody should stop and think. Winning is great, but at what cost? When is enough? It just takes one hit, bro. One.
Yeah, no,
with him.
I've said that.
With him.
I've said that.
With this case, with him, it could happen. Just start naming the injuries, man. See,
Cap,
Higgins didn't go to this, man.
You know what? Nobody has put it to me like that, and I need to think about that more. That's a very interesting point, and I need to think about that more. So that's all I'm going to say to that. And I think you made all of us think because nobody else is saying anything, because I think you brought up a good point.
Oh, no, I was on mute. So I was on mute. Hold on. I'm saying something. So if Tua says he's good to go, are we saying don't play?
Well, let's just take about it from Cap's point of view here, right? Like Cap.
No, I hear it. Again, that's Cap.
Yeah.
Again, Cap doesn't live Tua's life.
No,
Cap is not in his shoes. Cap don't take care of Tua's family. So
No,
again,
Cap
if that man,
Cap ain't got a busted hip. Cap ain't got a busted ankle. Cap ain't got a busted wrist. Cap ain't got a busted finger.
Exactly. Cap ain't
all I'm saying is,
man, he did. Hold on, he did. He went through all that. So are we telling him what his limits are?
Well, so hold on. Let me ask you a question, Vonjo, before I answer that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm taking into account what Cap said. If let's just say player X is being told not to play because it could hurt his ankle more, and he's saying, no, I feel good. Is the coach wrong for not letting him play, or is the player wrong because they're hurting themselves more? Let's just take an ankle for an example. What happens in that scenario, Vonjo?
If the coach is wrong, I say neither is wrong.
Okay, so in this particular situation, is either so Cap is basically saying, and Cap, please correct me if I'm wrong. Why isn't McDaniel having that same energy for Tua in this situation that he had for Waddle earlier in the year?
Correct, Steven.
Which two things. I just want to state for the record, I think McDaniel is, and I also think McDaniel's going based on what the doctors are telling him. The doctors are stating to McDaniel, hey, look, he passed all his concussion protocols. He's healthy from that standpoint. He's passed everything. And the doctors might be saying it in Waddle's situation, hey, look, he could play, but if he messes this up really bad anymore, it's not going to be good for this year or the future or whatever. And so he might be getting two different diagnoses about two different things from a player. And I think McDaniel is doing the best that he can with the information that he has. That's my personal
at what point do we sit there? Because here's the thing with the concussion. So an ankle, you could see when somebody's still limping. And you could sit there and say, Waddle could sit there and say, hold on, I'm 100%. All right, you're 100%, run this route. And you see him not run the route fully, you say, no, you're not 100%. You can't run the entire route tree. Go sit down.
Yep.
Right? That's easy to do.
Correct.
We do not know how long it takes for a concussion to heal.
Yep. 100%.
We don't have any clue. We don't have
not there. The information is just not there.
Well, yeah, they give suggestions, Vonjo.
So if
how can a player with
let me finish, guys. Let me finish, please.
Go ahead.
So at this point, at what point, and I get what Cap is saying, but at what point where Tua says, no, I'm good, and we look at him and he's passing the protocol, doctors say, no, he's good, do we stop protecting him and say, all right, well, I guess you're good, let's go ahead and rock? Well, or are we going to say, nah, put another week on it?
When Teddy
put another week on it.
When we throw Tua back in there.
So no, but at that point, it's no longer protecting the player.
No,
so we're no longer protecting the player. I'm talking about just a player. I'm taking Teddy out of the equation. Hold on, I'm taking Teddy and winning out of the equation. At what point do we leave it back to the player to say, yo, I'm good when it comes to concussion? Because we don't know.
I don't think anybody does. I think that's part of the problem here. That's part of the problem, Vonjo. Like there's not enough information on anybody's point of view. So the NFL can have a protocol in place and say these are the guidelines that a player needs to pass in order to come back, right? He passes said guidelines. Let's say even they change them in the next 2 weeks, which they probably are, and he still passes them. If Tua gets hurt again, let's say with another concussion, is it going to be on the Dolphins or the NFL or the doctors to say, well, you guys didn't do what was in Tua's best interest? No, we used the information that we had. We made a calculated decision on how we should go about upgrading our thing, and he still got hurt. It's just it's what it is. Do we need it? And that's why I say the answer when it comes to a press conference or how we go about it needs to be, all right, this is just so like I'm speaking as the NFL in this particular situation. We, the NFL, have decided these are now going to be the protocols. We also want to say that we are also looking into more ways on how we can make this safer. I do not believe that these guidelines are going to be the end all be all. We want to get more information, but based on the information that we have in hand right now, we believe that this is the best way to go about moving towards the future of the game and making sure players' health is a priority. when we get more information or more studies are done, we find out that it needs to be changed, we will then do those at such time. But as of now, this is all the information we have, and this is how we're going to go. And I, at that point, say that if somebody else gets hurt, whether it's Tua or another player, I think they're doing the best. We know this is a violent sport, and I think that's the reality of the situation that we need to just understand. You guys are on mute. If you guys are talking, get off mute.
I can. It's like
you're breaking up, Rashad. You're breaking up, Rashad.
That's what I thought.
Breaking up. Von Joe, Cap, do you have any problem with what I said there?
Nah, man, you nailed it, man. I'm just saying, man.
Like, it just is what it is. I'm just saying that, at some point, man, these guys are gladiators. They know what they're getting into.
Now, let me ask you, so how do we as fans?
Could you guys hear me?
Yeah. I have a question. Yeah, we can. I have a question.
It sounds cold. It sounds cold, and it sounds like I'm being insensitive. But there's really only a couple options. Okay, we shut down the NFL, or we sit there and say, all right, y'all know that. Okay, you might not make it on the other side of this completely 100%. And you have those that either quit before that, those that sit there and loved it and made it on the other side and have the glory stories to talk about it. I mean, it is what it is. I'm just keeping it all the way a buck now.
Yeah, that's why I was disagreeing with Cameron. I was disagreeing with Cameron earlier about that because of the situation with the weight.
I'm getting feedback from somebody. I don't know if it's Cap. It is Cap. Just so you know, I'm getting feedback from you, buddy. My question to you guys, and this is mainly for Von Joe and Cap because I'm interested to know. Because there are fans within the fan base that are saying, oh, well, and let me finish my thing before you guys answer. We're being insensitive to Tua. We don't care. Or when Dr. Bennett Amanu comes out and says, hey, look, Tua should retire. And some fans are like, yeah, football doesn't matter. All those things are fair. But what happens to the people that just said exactly what Von Joe said and people jump after? Because I've seen fans jump on other fans for exactly what Von Joe said. Is Von Joe right or wrong in that situation? By the way, I think Von Joe's completely valid in his points, and I agree that's what it is. But how do we combat other fans jumping down our throats for being, quote unquote, insensitive to Tua in the issue as a person, as a man, we also have to come. This is football. This is a team. This is a game. Like, we have to talk about that too. That's part of the discussion. Von Joe, Cap for life.
Yeah, no, I mean,
I combat it by ignoring it because, again, I don't argue with $2 sock puppets because at the end of the day, people sat there and say, no, because the thing is, here's the thing, Steven, let's keep it a buck, all right? Everybody, we sit there and act like we know these players, but we really don't.
Yeah, that's true.
All right. We cheer them on. We cheer on the logo, but at the end of the day, we do not know them personally. I never met Tua personally. I never kicked it back with him. So I'm not going to have that emotional attachment to him to the degree if I saw my best friend or my son or a family member, going through that issue. Right. Again,
let me just pause you. I used to think like that till Kobe Bryant passed away, and I had that emotional connection with Kobe, and I didn't realize it. I wasn't a Lakers fan. I wasn't a Kobe fan, but I realized that's how much sports and players like I was. Yeah.
I get it to that degree, but at the end of the day, the world turned for you, and you kept moving on a couple weeks later. Versus me, if you lost a brother, hold on. I'm just saying, versus you losing a brother, it's not going to take a couple of weeks for you to lose your brother, right? To get over it.
That's fair.
You got like little small things that you do in your everyday. You feel that more. You're like, oh man, this person would have got this joke. You're not sitting there like, oh man, Kobe would have got this joke if I said it out loud, right? And again, I'm not trying to sound insensitive, but again, I'm keeping it real.
No, I think
we get attached to these people. These players that and the reason why we get attached to it because we're so emotionally invested into the team and what they're doing for us and cheering them on, we become emotionally attached to them to that degree. But I think some of us take it too far where we're making decisions for them or we're advocating for them like we personally know them. I don't know what he's done in his everyday life. I don't know what he's going through. I don't know what he got going on in his personal.
It's a valid point nonetheless. I think it's
a valid point. I don't know what he got going on in his personal, and I don't know what's driving him to say, let me continue to keep on going.
Right.
Feel me?
Look, let Cap for Life go. Go, Cap.
Yeah, personally for me, man, we all know my stance when it comes to Tua the past 2 years. I was on board with him. You know, I was excited to see him start off in the season. And I shifted away and detoured because I did not like what I was seeing, especially with the Jacksonville game and the Tennessee game. And that's what pretty much caused me to be like, look, we got to go elsewhere. Now, everybody knows my stance. With that being said, I don't want to see that kid get hurt any longer. And I've been saying that also.
All right, let me bring in somebody else. Cap, go ahead and put yourself on mute. I'm just getting a lot of bad feedback from you, Cap.
All right, hey, I got to head out anyway, man. Thank you, man.
I love you guys,
man.
I love you.
Yeah,
be good, man.
You good, Cap.
All right, let me bring in Pete back to the conversation. Pete, go ahead, man. Pete, you're on mute. Pete. Everybody
What's up, crying Tua and ears? You guys are still on this? We've moved on. Our star is Teddy.
Why? Let me ask you, why are we crying Tua and ears when we're having it like the conversation? Like, I know we're gonna have this conversation. Why are we crying Tua and ears?
Because the way you guys responded to him going out, like he passed away, it was just funny to me. The way you guys were acting last week. You guys acted like he passed away. We would never see him again.
Pete,
you guys.
Pete, here's so this is where perceptions come into play, right, bud? Like I think there's everything, there's sensitivity to everything. And we as a culture, are we too sensitive as things? Yes, of course we are. But I think there's human emotion to that. And I think where some of the people might have got upset with you was at a time when we didn't have information and it was just brand new and it was still whatever. It came out that you, and some people will say you were very insensitive to the situation at hand at that particular moment. Were you wrong per se in what you were saying? Probably not. Or it was a valid argument. How about that? It was a valid argument at the very least. But at that moment in time, you wait a day, you figure out what, and he walked away. Well, I don't know if he walked away, but Pete, that's what they were trying to get at is you couldn't. Yeah, he's back. Pete, they just wanted you to understand. Let's figure out more information before we make a statement.
No, this is what I was trying to say, Steven. Only because you guys felt bad. The reason why I didn't feel bad, Steven, is because I was here on you guys' show telling you guys he was concussed versus Buffalo. You guys didn't want to listen to me. You guys didn't want to believe it. You guys were telling me, no, it's his back. It's his ankle. Look what the injury report says, Pete. You're stupid. This is what you guys are telling me.
I never said that.
Guess what? Well, that's what it sounded like. And I'm telling you guys, he got up woozy. He's concussed, and they need to leave that guy out of the game. What happened? He came back. He won, and all of you guys dished it in my face. Look, he came back and won. And then he gets hurt over a concussion on the short week, and I'm supposed to feel bad that he lied to us? Why are you stopping me? He lied to us, Steven.
Thing by thing.
This guy lied to us, and we're going to feel bad for a liar? You're going to feel bad for a liar?
I want you to break this down in its simplest form. Let's start from the beginning, right? You said that you came onto my channel or any channel for that matter and said, hey, look, he had a concussion. Don't believe what they're telling you.
I literally, that's exactly what I said. I don't care what the reports say. He had a concussion.
We're breaking this down in its simplest form. Okay. We then, as a public, were told by the sources, which are Tua himself, as well as the team, no, it was a back injury. So, in all honesty, Pete, and this is no disrespect to you, who are we going to believe? Are we going to believe Pete? Or are we going to believe the sources that told us what it is?
You got to believe what your eyes see. And just like Tua got up woozy, I've seen Daniel Jones the same way get up woozy, and they called him a concussion. So what was the difference when I see Daniel Jones do it, and then I see my quarterback Tua do it? So what's the difference? My eyes are not going to lie to me. When he got up in Buffalo, he was all dizzy, spaghetti legs, and he fell. That's a concussion.
You
guys just wanted to lie for you guys wanted to lie.
Pete said Tua was his quarterback. I caught that, Pete.
What if Tua does not know what a concussion is? He's never had one before. What if he does not know what that is? So maybe he just felt, oh yeah, my back got tight on me. That's why I dropped. I was a little dizzy, but I don't know if that's a concussion. Clearly, I'm still aware, and I passed concussion protocol.
Yeah, so Tua's the only person. What about if Daniel Jones? Daniel Jones had the same situations. What if he never had a concussion?
Hold on, Rashad. Is not what Rashad just said a valid argument? If he
not a valid argument.
It is. Think about it.
How is that a valid argument?
So let's break this down. If he goes down and his back got messed up, and he comes up and says, I was a little dizzy, but I took that as to my back. And the moment I went back,
I don't believe any of that back crap, Steven.
You don't have to believe that. It's a theory, and it's a valid one. All right, just like yours is a valid one. We can sit here and say, you know what, Pete was right. They knew it was a concussion. They chose to say it was the back and not do it. The reality of the situation is he went through a concussion protocol with a third-party person right after that hit in the back in the locker room. He passed it, and they said, nope, it's not a concussion. He passed the concussion protocol. So again,
I don't know what they did. They forced the issue.
You don't know what they did.
They forced the issue, bro. They forced the issue.
You have
they
no idea
put
what
that
they
kid
did.
in bads. This coach should be fired.
You do not know what they did.
After what they did to Tua, this coach should be in season fired. There's no doubt about it. Who's the? Why be putting a player
who's coaching the game knows exactly what's going on in the locker room?
First of all, the coach is watching his quarterback get up, get dizzy, and he still allows the quarterback to get in the game.
Pete,
that's the decision on the coach. You know how mad I am right now? This guy just lost it with this whole. You gotta fire this GM for allowing this to happen. Where was Chris Greer at this point?
Chris Greer's up in there. He has nothing to do. No. Rashad, I got this, bud. I got this, buddy. Just put yourself on mute. I'm going at with Pete. Pete, you're telling me Chris Greer, who by the way,
this is why I don't argue with sock puppets. You see?
No, hold on. I'm not calling anybody a name. I'm not calling it. I want to have a
okay, Bonjo, if McDaniel would have put your son in that situation, would you still want him to be a coach? Let me know. Let me know, and let me know if that's a puppet situation.
Ignore everything else. Matter of fact, real quick, because Pete, just listen to me. I want to have the conversation with you, bud. You're telling me that the head coach who's on the sidelines, who, by the way, doesn't have a medical degree, is being told by somebody that has a medical degree and is the person that they're supposed to speak to that is not affiliated with the NFL, with the Miami Dolphins, but with the NFL, said, hey, look, he passed his concussion protocol. I believe that he's healthy to play if he wants to play. And he comes back on the sidelines, which, by the way, I was there. He as soon as he came out of the locker room, he was pumping people up. He was getting people on the sidelines. He looked good. It didn't look like there was any sign of it. If he told you, I'm good to go, you as the coach say, well, I got the doctor's approval and the guy's sitting here pumping people up, running around, throwing balls. He looks good to me. Let's go. So I don't think there's any blame on McDaniel personally. And then to also make the statement that the GM, who, by the way, is up in the press box or wherever he is in the owner's box, who also doesn't have a medical degree, and his job is to make personnel decisions, has nothing to do with a player is good or not. You're sitting there, he has some say in this? No, none at all. The NFL.
Yes, hey, Steven, you had enough? Because guess who else doesn't have a medical degree? And guess who was watching off a TV screen? That was me. And guess what, buddy? It doesn't take rocket science to know that Tua was concussed. They lied to us for this. And for lying, this is what they get. At the end of the day, listen, if Tua lied just to get back in the game, then he lied. That's his problem. He needs to suffer these consequences. And this is why he's probably never going to play again for the rest of his career after this. Because he lied. He lied. But at the end of the day,
Pete, do you all right? So all right, time out. Pete, let me ask you.
It's like, oh, this guy doesn't have a medical degree. That guy doesn't have a medical degree. It doesn't take a medical degree to know that that guy had a concussion and they lied to us.
Okay, I got
Nobody likes a bona fide liar.
Wait.
Why are we throwing the word liar out there?
Because Tua lied. He's a liar.
How do we know
Tua
that?
lied. He said he didn't have a concussion, and he's out here almost died on the field in front of our eyes.
He did not.
Over, he wants to play. Come on, bro. That guy's a bona fide liar, bro.
If you pass concussion protocol, do you have a concussion?
He didn't pass. They said he has back and ankle injury, bro. We're gonna find out further details on this. Don't want to hear all that. That guy got back. Where did he twist his ankle on that Matt Milano push? How did his ankle hurt?
What?
This guy's lying to us.
No.
So that's just the way it is.
Do you not remember the QB suite where they slapped somebody on the neck?
Tua makes you dislike him even more after hearing these lies, bro.
I'm just gonna put you guys in the back room because I want to talk to Pete one-on-one. I don't ever want the conversation to be that Pete. No, Pete, we're gonna air this out right now, me and you. Okay. At the end of the day, Pete. You can sit there and say that he lied to us, but he has never given us any other reason to assume that he's lying about anything. So you can sit there and have that conspiracy theory all you want, which is fair. That if that's how you choose to say it, that's how you choose to look at it, right? I can also sit here and say that as an informed fan of what I do know, that the GM and the coach also said, hey, look, he went back to the back. He had a concussion exam. He passed the concussion protocol. He was good to go. So who's right, me or you? I don't think either one of us are right or wrong. I think the reality of the situation is he went back. He had the concussion test. He passed it. He came in. He was ready to go. Now, second thing. When you come out saying it the way that you're saying, oh, he's a liar, he deserves to get what's happened to you. Bro, at the end of the day, where's your empathy? Where's your empathy as a human being for anyone?
How am I going to feel empathy that someone's lying to us? You should lose your empathy after knowing that he lied to us. So you're going to feel bad? Let me ask you, do you feel bad for people that... You feel bad that people are lying to you? I wouldn't feel bad for a liar. I'm sorry.
Pete, so all right, so you at the end of the day are calling him a liar. What facts do you have to go on that say that he's a liar? Explain that to me, Pete.
They debunked the concussion issues last week against Buffalo, right? And they blamed it on his back and ankle. And now this kid almost dies in front of our eyes with millions of kids watching. And they had to see that guy throw up gang signs. And we're supposed to sit here and really feel bad after knowing, right? After knowing, because I already knew that they lied to us. Bro. Remember, no, I don't feel bad because I already knew. See, you want to go off what they gave you on paper. I'm no medical doctor, but I don't need a physician license to know that that guy could have easily been throwing up gang signs versus Buffalo. It was the same thing, but this hit was a lot harder. So now the concussion came back double strength. This is why he was stretched off.
You don't know.
It was a disaster to watch.
You are not a doctor.
It was because he lied
about that.
It was because he lied. When your jaw gets rocked and you get a concussion, you get spaghetti legs, don't you? How many boxing matches have you seen? That's concussions, buddy. That's what happens. Exactly. Bro. You know how many quarterbacks we've seen go down in concussions and they didn't come back? I can name so many. They sat out the rest of the game.
Pete, so this is the problem that people have with you, Pete. Okay, and right or wrong, good, bad, or indifferent, you can have your opinion, and it's how it comes out. Say, look, you guys can choose to believe that, but what I believe is that I was lied to, and this is what it is. And say, if you guys choose to believe that, I respect your opinion.
So you still don't believe that we were lied to, Steven?
I don't.
You still don't believe that we were lied to, but yet you go get off of your show for a second and go put on NFL Network, go put on ESPN, go put on your local news channels. Okay. All they're doing is clowning us on Tua, showing pictures of him on a stretcher leaving, saying, look what the Miami Dolphins franchise did to this guy. Oh my God, the franchise is a horrible franchise. Bro, we can't even celebrate this 3-1. Because of everything that Tua's going
as a Dolphins fan, we've been dealing with that our entire lives as Dolphin fans, Pete. What are you talking about? And second of all, I'm not gonna go to ESPN or any news outlet or anything and try to get my information from there because they all have at the end of the day, and I'm not getting political or whatever, but they all have their own agendas of what they're trying to move forward, or they all want to be politically correct or politically right or whatever it is. I'm coming at it from the standpoint of the doctor in the NFL told me that Tua was okay and that he passed concussion protocol. There is no reason to think otherwise. None. Absolutely none. If you give me more information or different information and think otherwise, I will change my opinion about that. But you, Pete, are not going to give me any reason to think otherwise. He didn't have a
concussion. Steven. So you're telling me that a concussion is going to last in your head for how many days?
I've had 11 concussions, bro. I've had 11 concussions.
Have you ever got tested for concussion
Pete,
the same day?
Pete, let me.
This is not like a drug test. This is not like a drug test. It doesn't stay in your system for a certain amount of days.
Pete, let me also state this too.
Okay, let me ask you a question because you got a lot of questions and I'm almost done here. No, you got too many questions. Let me ask a question.
It's my show. I can ask all the damn questions I want. Pete, at the end of the day, if you're looking at it, let's say he did have a concussion, if he passed concussion protocol and he no longer showed symptoms of a concussion at that point, what are you supposed to do? Let's play devil's advocate. He had a concussion that first one, and he passed the concussion protocol. Then it's not the question of that. It's the NFL needs to change their guidelines of having.
I got to answer this call. I got to answer this call, Stephen. I love you. Thank you for having me up, buddy. I got to go. I'll be right back.
Some of you are mad that I allow Pete to blast his nonsense on the air. Let me tell you what I do, okay? So that way we can understand each other very clearly. Miami Sports Music Podcast Network is a network made for the fans by the fans. You can say Pete's not a fan all you want, but he clearly has been covering the Dolphins and loves and likes the Dolphins, and from everything that I know, he's a Dolphins fan. He doesn't expose or portrays it the way typical or most fans do, and that's fine. But I'm not sitting here going to pick on one person or another. I also wanted him to come on so I could have a one-on-one with him to get out two things. Number one, I need, even if I'm not going to do it, I want him to at least hear it from me. Hey, bro, you didn't show empathy in this situation. And that's why people had a problem with what you said. Okay. It's not what you said, it's how you said it. And it's how you're saying it. Okay. And now I'm not going to kick him off because he's not an empathetic person or chooses to go about it the right way. Now, the second thing that y'all can choose to do as this show is I give you guys the opportunity. What I did with Pete very rarely happens on my show. I don't normally kick the rest of the panel off and say, no, I need to have a one. I did that to honestly just see where he was coming from and say, look, we need to air this out. Good, bad, or indifferent. We need to air this out. So I know some of you don't like that I give everybody a platform, but I'm going to give everybody a platform. I'm just going to. That's how it's always going to be with me. And, I'm never going to kick anybody off. Now, if people are getting personal as far as like name calling, I try to put an end to that when it usually happens. I don't always get it. I apologize that I don't always get it. I'm not perfect. If you're talking about somebody's family or, self, I try to put an end to that. And that's where I think the line gets crossed when you start calling somebody a certain name or slurs or anything like that. And as that happened on my channel, I've tried to put an end to it when it's happened. And if there is an instance that it's happened that I have not, please bring it to me after the show to my attention. I'll be more than happy to address it. And people have, by the way, and I have addressed it at that point and tried to move forward. But I'm not going to kick anybody off for being non-empathetic and they have a bad point of view. I think Pete's views are wrong. I think they're bad. I don't agree with them. There's 10 spots that people can be on the show daily. There's 144 of y'all watching right now. And majority of the same people come on the panel every day. You who've never been on the panel, get on the panel. If you can't do it, pay to get them off the panel. If you say, hey, Steven, look, we want to advise the new rules, come through me and say, hey, look, let's go. But I'm not you're not getting cancel culture here, and I'm not going to kick anybody off for having. But I will say at the end of the day, yes, I don't agree with what he says, and it bothers me with a lot of what he says. But y'all can choose in a million different ways to get him off here. But it ain't going to be from me kicking him off. Point, God love it, hate it, whatever. I'm going to bring the people that are in the back room on. Sorry.
Sounds good.
Way to go, Steven.
I agree, Steven.
Way to go, Steven.
I agree with you what you said.
I don't agree, and I love Pete, but he got to cut it with the Tua take. Everything can be.
I don't agree with this Tua take, but so that's when you say I'm either gonna pay to kick you off. Like I have paid. You pay $10 to time somebody out. You pay $50 to kick them off for the day. If we're doing a panel, you can do that, or you can say. Or you know you have other options too. You can try to recruit people. Hey, get on the panel. Let's shut this guy up. You know, whatever. There's a million different ways you can shut him up. He chooses to come on. He chooses to be one of the 10 people.
I like it when he gets his stuff off. It's just that, you know, everything like I don't know. I don't want to say what I feel like it feel like. Yeah, there's
a million different ways you can kick him off. It doesn't have to be through pay. That is just one of them.
It feels so personal, like it's ugly at this point. I don't like. That's why I'm telling him to calm down.
Real quick. I'm not going to make this decision, but I am interested to know your thoughts about this. There was when we started paying to kick people, like you could have 10-minute timeouts or by the way, that was created in just and in fun, and I would say 90% of the time that's exactly what it is. And it's a good way for the show to obviously, make some money and do and make money for the channel. And I think that it works 90% of the time. I think there's 10% that it, goes sideways, but I think that's it's whatever, right? What I will also say to it is, we made the decision we could vote people off if they were non-Dolphins fans. And the rule was stated, we can't vote to have non-Dolphins fans on, or a Dolphin, like if a Bills fan came on, we could vote to have the as a majority of the panel. If there's 6 people, if 4 people say no, get them off, we're going to kick them off. But we said we would never do that to Dolphins fans. So do you want to amend that rule so that we don't have to pay, but a majority of the panel can kick somebody off at that point? Which I don't mind necessarily doing. It wouldn't be my first thing, but if we
I'm
do
not
that
against it.
Well, I mean, I maybe you know what? Maybe
I think no, Pete. No, I don't think because it can easily be a slippery slope.
No, only reason I'm not against it is because stuff gets out of hand when.
No, it's because they'll specifically. It'll look, Steven, as if that rule was created specifically for Pete, and then person. That will be targeting. Yeah,
it wouldn't be
the optics of it will look like the optics.
Some people come up here and get personal and get out of it. Like,
look, I wanted the fans to control this show, and for the most part, I think I've come up with every way for a fan to control the show and the narrative of the show. And Von Joe's in the back. Von Joe, do you think that we should start the thing?
No,
yeah,
we're not doing that to Dolphin fans.
No, it's fine. But don't do it.
But I did come back up here, Steven, just to say I hate the fact that you wasted 5 minutes of my life.
Man,
I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. I needed
to be said. You can't get that back in the gym, Von Joe.
No, because this is not even a workout day for me because I'm traveling. It's a travel day.
It's a travel day. Can't get those 5 minutes back. Look, I love you all, and I love Pete. I don't agree with Pete. I don't agree with 90% of what comes out of his mouth. But
I warn people about this. I warn people about this when it comes to choosing Pete. I said Pete, he'll start there on a good track. He'll be on the road, and you're vibing with him. Like, yeah, okay, bars. And all of a sudden, he just makes a left turn into a swamp. Out of nowhere.
And
nothing. This is there's no road there. There's no road there, Steven. This is not even a dirt road. And he still turns into it.
He said it's a deer path.
Von Joe, you gotta learn to expect that though, man.
I do. That's why I said I don't. That's why I warn people. I'm like, yo, he's vibing right now. He's going. And wait for it. Yep, middle of nowhere. How we got here?
What's up, y'all?
Y'all keep falling for that trick. But okay.
Matt, go ahead. Matt's raising his hand. Go ahead, Matt.
All I gotta say is every time
Twitter hand
and Pete comes in, all I hear him is yelling all the time. He can't have a civil conversation. That's the problem with him. At least every time.
Sometimes.
Yeah, I mean,
what's up, y'all, man?
What's up, Solo Boys, though?
How everybody doing on the panel, man? Hey, man,
I'm doing well.
Surviving.
You know what? I feel good. I feel good that I did that. I got a one-on-one with Pete. I told him how I feel. I told him that he was being empathetic, and that's why he pissed off a lot of fans this past week. He didn't agree with it.
Man.
That's fine.
After wasting my time, Steven, after wasting my time, I might need a one-on-one with you.
Okay, that's fine. We can have a one. Do you want a one-on-one right now? You want to go?
No. I mean in person, baby. We might have to. You might have to. Throw me them hands, bro. You're not gonna waste my time.
This what I'm gonna say, man. You know, I.
But Bon Joe, what y'all don't know is Bon Joe and I are like real close. So Bon Joe.
What I'm saying on that,
and you know what,
Steven, you're gonna have to give me those 5 minutes back some way somehow. I don't want no damn hot dogs.
Von Joe, stop it, Von Joe.
One hot dog. It's one hot dog, just so you know.
One? Oh my God! Stop it.
Hey, let me say something on that situation with Pete, man. You know, everybody got their opinions. We all Dolphin fans. We got to stop being sensitive to what people say and criticize that. You know, everybody in the in the team and the Dolphin organization got to say, because we doing good. I don't know if a lot of people expect what's happening right now, but we doing good. And one thing with what Pete got going on, man, I'm gonna tell you the truth. He be having a lot of good points. Everybody just not trying to hear what he said, because I've been listening to the show for a while.
Solo. Be careful. Be careful.
Nah. Listen to what I'm saying. Listen to what I'm saying.
Hey, you're on a slippery slope, Solo boys. Though they won't pay to kick off Pete. They'll pay to kick off you. Don't do it. They'll do it, Solo. Don't let them.
Hey, listen to what I'm saying. Like, he got valid points, man. If you listen to what he's saying, I was here one day. This was way before the season started. He betted a bunch of people on here that Tua was going to get hurt during the regular season and Teddy Bridgewater was going to step in. Nobody didn't want to take the bet. And if y'all would have took it, y'all would have looked bad right now. And that's what's going on right now.
Well, Solo boy, let me state just for that. Nobody thought that. Like I had my doubts and reservations
based on his history.
That would be a stupid bet to have.
Yeah, we
hope that he would be fine.
Let me make my point, and then I'm gonna let y'all have it. This now, Pete not trying to stir nothing up. All he doing is he bringing awareness to that organization. If you watching the team stepping outside of your team and you looking at it, man, Tua got a big problem, man. Tua got a problem every year, man. He need to protect himself, man. He need to find a coach to do something to get him right, because this happen every year. We can't keep going forward with this. You feel me? So Pete is bringing awareness to where awareness is not at. Tua is not a bad person. He's not a bad quarterback. He's good. But at the same time, you could give him the best line in the world. If you step back there and you act like you having Z's or you going to Z's, they're going to put you to sleep. And we seen what happened to him. We don't want that happening, that man. That don't look good for the team. It don't look good for the organization. He's just bringing awareness. That's all he's saying. Like,
by the way, his awareness is very poor. That's like saying, hey, you're in the middle of a zoo. Oh, by the way, there's a zebra there. No shit, there's zebras at a zoo, dude. Everybody knows this.
All right.
we already knew. We already knew Tua had injury issues. That was on my list of things he needs to show us.
Now, that's what I'm saying. Now, what you say, you have a good point. That's a valid point. So, if in real life, what do the zebra do? The zebra stay on his P's and Q's. So, Tua needs to stay on his P's and Q's.
Everybody knows this. It's not. You're not shining a light on something that's not there.
All right. This is what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna make it easy. Oh, these are like, all right. Look at the division that we in. We in a division that got killer defense. Man, you can't go out here playing. What happened to him last year? The same thing that happened to him last year. He got hurt in a Buffalo game. And the same thing. We put him out. And the same, we got to play these dudes. Either we could beat them or we can't beat them, but we need a quarterback, and we got to play these dudes. And them boys, when they coming.
So let me state that.
I am a little annoyed by Buffalo being the only team that's injuring him, though. I find that pretty coincidental.
Oh, that's awareness. Yeah, like
that's 3 straight games against Buffalo.
So that's what I'm saying. Tua got to open up his head and be like, "Hey, man, I'm going out here. These guys, they coming for me. Like, y'all got my back or what?" If you don't say nothing, stuff like that gonna happen.
I hear your point. I just think that this is what needs to be said from when it comes to Tua. The best ability is availability. And if Tua's not available, he's not as valuable to us. I do believe that Tua's made a huge step in stride into year 3. One that I thought that he would make. But I will also say that this isn't he's never had an issue with concussions before. Ever. He's never had an issue with concussions before. Mm-hmm. And so this is to me, if you can say this, just like his college injury was a freak injury, This is a freak injury. So he's had something happen to him 2 times that most people don't get 1 time in their career. They just don't, right? So I think that's the reality of the situation that we're kind of in a it just keeps happening to him, and that sucks. And maybe he is injury prone. And by the way, that's where Pete is probably somewhat accurate, because the facts show that he has been hurt every year he's played, right? So I'm not, but to say it the way that he goes about it, that's the empathy part, right? And there's a time and place for it. Like when he's on the ground still and he's actively tweeting out what he's saying in a non-empathetic way, that's the wrong time to say it. The next day when we got the information and we know that he's okay and he flew home with the team, by all means, say what you want to say. We're still going to disagree with you, but say what you want to say. You know, but I think there's a time and place to say. It's about showing empathy.
I respect everything, you know, everybody's saying, but what we got to have open mind to what everybody said on the panel. You know,
Pete just donated $10. He said that's why he lied to us, Steven. He didn't want to add concussion to his injury resume. You don't know that, Pete. I appreciate the $10, but you don't know that.
It don't matter. Add it on. It don't matter if we know it or not. Add it on. We got a good list now of stuff that he been through. And the thing about it with Tua is, man, he a fighter. He's trying to fight and play, because when contract year come up, he want to get paid too. And all this stuff is going to be against him, even though his numbers look good and everything, because you said it. The best of ability is availability.
You guys can have the floor, but Steven just lied on me. I'm telling you right now, Steven, that's a bold lie. And maybe you didn't know, but you guys can do your own homework. I never tweeted anything bad on Tua until I heard from the commentator that Tua's back walking. That's when I imploded on Twitter and I said what I said. I truly thought that guy was going to die. Go do your own little time research. I didn't say anything about Tua on Twitter until I heard in the game that Tua's back up walking in the hospital. So go do that. That bold little, that's what you Tuaneers are out here doing, trying to make it even sound even worse on my name. But have a blessed day. You guys can have the show.
I'm going to look it up right now, Pete.
Don't worry. Pete will be back. He'll be back. He always comes back.
Pete comes back. Pete is like the phoenix. He always rises from the ashes.
I wouldn't say a phoenix. It's more like I'm not even gonna say a phoenix. It's more like a roach that won't die.
More like a dodo bird.
Well, wow.
Respectfully.
But different cans of Raid don't work if it gets 2 weeks old.
What's that little thing from Ice Age that wants that acorn? That just
I don't know what that was.
Up?
That creature?
I don't know what that was.
That just never quits.
Right. Ice Age
29.
But nah, man, it's even though it's still the timing, because I don't know, bro. It's one of those situations where you make a joke and you look around the room and you have to say, "Oh shoot, too soon." Bet. That's what it was. It was one of those. Too soon. All right, my bad. That's what it was. That's what it was, Pete.
Yeah, that would have been a bad bet if you'd have betted Pete back in August about Tua getting injured.
Bro, everybody knows this.
I mean,
Crypto, how many panels have you been on with me? And I've sat there and said, no, Tua has
how much money do I?
Right.
That's not like a even bet. You got it. The bet would have to be, if he doesn't get hurt, I win $100. If he does get hurt, I lose 20. Like
exactly. Like you still lose money on the bet.
Right. You
got
to entice me with that bet.
Come on, man.
Yeah. Yeah, it's got to be lopsided. Right.
All right, so
Steven, I don't care when he put it out there. At the end of the day, it was still too soon.
It was 10:55 p.m. when he made the first tweet, or 10:54 p.m.
At the end of the day,
it's about Thursday. Wait a minute, what are we looking up here, Pete? Steven, what are we looking at?
Pete's
the tweet on Thursday's game.
On Thursday's game.
So when was his comment on El Capitan show?
I don't know. I have no idea.
What minute?
See, I don't know that. I just
I don't care.
I don't know what he said. Live broadcast.
Say the truth. I don't know,
Did he
and
say
I don't
something
care.
online? I don't know that he said something online. You know what? Somebody might have told me that, and that just totally slipped my mind. But what I know,
But he
is
wasn't on the
Twitter
El
stuff.
Capitan show, was he? Live?
I don't know. I think he tied it. He put something in the comment section, live broadcast, and that erupted, and it leaked into Twitter. But again, I could be wrong. And again, say the truth. I'm not wasting time on this anymore. Okay. Moving on to MetLife.
The fact of the matter is, Pete, if I am wrong, I apologize for that. But what I do know is I still think 10:54, 10:55, whatever it was probably way too soon. You wait till the next day. I know at 10:55 the game wasn't over yet, I believe. I don't think the game wasn't over yet.
It was in the fourth quarter by that time, I think.
Yeah.
I think it was like early fourth quarter.
Yeah. So I look, man, I'll say, because the game started at 8:20.
Right. So 2 hours later. So we was looking at about the fourth quarter.
The halftime, and then you had another 20 minutes of him being on the field. So I mean, what? So an hour and a half puts it at 8:20, 9:45. So 10:55, maybe the game's over, but I don't think it is. I don't think the game was over at that point.
Yeah, it's normally over in 3 hours. Well, you can look at the game time and do the numbers, see how many game time minutes it was.
Look, I think it was.
It tells you when the game ended. They'll tell you what time, how much game time it was in actual time.
I'm on it right now. It's stats.
Yeah, they do tell you when how long the game was, as far as in hours and minutes. And then you can just see, start time and add that minute, add that to it, and see what would have been the fourth quarter or not.
I just want to say that I exhausted. Not that I wanted to waste a lot of time on it, but I'll at least, for the sake of the argument and the discussion, we'll put it up there. Game 7.
At least we could say Landon Roberts wasn't the reason we lost that game.
He wasn't winning. He wasn't the reason we won it either. We already know that.
I know, but Joe.
It'll never be a reason. It'll never be a good reason.
It doesn't say that.
I just wanted to get you off.
Steven, I'm warning you. You're wasting my time again.
Okay. I just want to say I looked for it and did not see a time stamp.
You have a whole entire show to run.
Okay. I didn't see a timestamp. Yeah, no timestamp. Sorry, I don't have a timestamp, but I'm gonna say no matter what, it was probably still too soon, and it was the way you said it. So that's just what it is. What it is.
You have a whole entire show to run, and you're wasting time.
What's up, Pat?
One last thing about Pete. I hate that he was blaming Tua like Tua lied to us. We don't go by what Tua says. We go by what the doctor said. Like Tua could self-diagnose himself. Like he didn't know what he had. We go by the doctor. Why is he blaming Tua?
Only because I'm not agree with it. It's just only because of the players have a lot of power in this league versus it just if you're good enough to play the player, they'll side on the caution of the player.
Yeah. Did it fill up smoothly or?
I just didn't like the fact where he went on just putting on to about it's all his fault and stuff.
I don't know, but them doctors got fired because of PR move.
They haven't given us a real reason why that doctor got fired.
Steven, I gotta go now. I'll be listening.
Yeah, they didn't give us a reason, Steven.
Where are you going?
Steven, they jumped the gun. The investigation wasn't
hold
finished.
on. I'm trying to say bye. Okay. So me and this lady right here. Where is she?
I gotta get ready to go too. 12. I didn't realize it was 12:30.
There she is. You see her? You see her with the fro? The lady with the fro walking out. Yeah. So
she said, "Let's go. Get off of that stupid show and get off." That's what she
really gave me.
Those exact words.
But we're going first. I have to go to Fort Lauderdale because we're flying out of Fort Lauderdale to New York. Not going to MetLife, but out of New York, we're gonna go fly to Antigua. And we're gonna be in Antigua for a couple of days.
So you're not coming to MetLife Takeover?
No.
How dare you?
I'm gonna be in Antigua.
That's treason, Bonjo. You didn't want to see a Landon Roberts in person. I get it.
But he will be there next week, won't you?
That's still in the air.
What?
It is. I will be there, but I will be. I'll holler at you. Things are looking murky. Let's just say that.
What?
But we'll talk. We'll talk. I know we'll talk.
You can't just break this news to me on the show.
We'll talk, but it looks. No, the thing is, a couple people expect me to be there, so I got to be there. But
Well,
it's the
there's only
timing
one
of
that
when I
matters.
want to when I got to be there and the logistics of it. It's just listen. It's a hard world being Von Joe. Okay, running this kingdom running this kingdom ain't easy, Steven.
It ain't easy, son. It ain't easy. All right,
ain't
man.
easy,
Well,
man.
talk to me. When do you get back from Antigua?
Monday.
Okay. All right. Since you're getting off, can you tell the people to hit the like button and donate to the channel?
Guys, like, comment, subscribe. Hopefully, Steven won't ever waste our time like that again, ever. So we got to give him this pass. We got to forgive him because he's a nice guy, and I like him. So we're going to forgive him this one time, but don't do it again, Steven. Don't do it again.
So you know, I was just tweeted out. Stephen D, he said it in TDs during the game, right when it happened. Tua is crying, still move high with care, fragile box. So you did say it during TD's thing.
Well, see, I know it was I know it was not on Twitter. I know that much. Anyways, I gotta go, Steven. Love you. Love you guys. Love the panel.
Too,
Fins up all day.
All right.
All right. Final thoughts of the day. Matthew, go, man. Final thought of the day. As I see you eating. I don't know what you're eating, but it looks delicious.
All right. Final thoughts. I mean, I really hate to see Tua retire because of this injury.
He's not going to. Get that out of your minds. That's not going to happen.
Wish Tua a well recovery, and let's see if Teddy could put out some numbers against the Jets.
We'll see what happened, man. Thank you for coming on the show, man. I enjoyed it. You got to come back on.
Thank you, bro.
All right, man. Be good. All right, Rashad, final thought of the day. Rashad?
Yo.
Final thought of the day.
Final thought of the day. Teddy, go out there, kill it. We're better than the Jets all around. Besides probably rushing. Every position we're better than the Jets in my eyes. There's no reason we should lose this game. Teddy, I hope you're good from last year's concussion because I haven't really seen you since then. Let's get this dub. This is your team. This is your position to lose. You mess this up, good luck finding a job next year. That's all. Fins up.
Yeah, that's true. He's going
to
be finding another job. All right.
All right, Crypto, and your one hot dog, not 12. Final thoughts of the day.
Wow, Steven. One hot dog, Steven. I'm good for 13 hot dogs, Steven. It's went up another hot dog now. 13. You're good, Steven. Well, I can't wait to see you again at MetLife, but we're going to have a blast. That's going to be Teddy's time to shine. Hopefully you guys are right and I'm wrong about that as far as the game is not based on Teddy, because I did say we was going to win 4 straight and lose this Jet game, regardless of who was the quarterback. But I haven't given a predicted score. You guys are not going to like my final score prediction in this game. But Teddy, I think he would do better next week against Minnesota than this week against the Jets, because of he'll be a little more warmed up. He'll have one full game on this belt at that point. I don't think this is the game he gets off the schneid. I hope he does. I hope I'm wrong. I hope he throws 5 or 6 touchdowns. That'll be nice, wouldn't it? If he could do that, that would be now. Then at that point, if let's say he does do that, Steven, he gives us 5 to 6 touchdowns. You know what the talk would be? Now McDaniel can now pop his collar and say, I created an offense where anybody can throw 5 or 6 touchdowns. Mm-hmm. Because everybody knows that Tua is better than Teddy as far as the his overall upside. If Tua did it right, and then Teddy turns around and do it in this offense, then that means now McDaniel could start popping his chest out and say, I did this. This is on me. I made these quarterbacks and put an offense together that elevate these quarterbacks. So then in that sense, yeah, Mike McDaniel can now start taking full credit on what he created offensively for this team. Not defensively, but offensively. If Teddy, let's say if Teddy does do that. Even though Teddy was on trajectory to do it in the second half of the Cincinnati game, he did put up 200 plus yards, which he could have had 400 and even in Cincinnati if he started. But you know, it's possible because Tyreek Hill and Waddle together creates a dynamic that makes it hard for you to defend. And, that's what makes it a quarterback-friendly offense. We all know that Skyler would have thrown 400 yards against the Bengals, but, that's neither here nor there.
You mean Tua?
Any quarterback. All of them. All of them would have thrown for
I
it.
can't with you. It's not Teddy. I get you. The Tua hate is, the Teddy hate is real. The Teddy hate is so real.
Yeah, the Teddy haters are real. Teddy would have thrown up a 40 burger if he'd had enough time, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, give him 5 seconds in that pocket, 7 seconds in that pocket. He would have done something. He would have done something if he had 8 seconds.
He could have. It's just, but you got to remember, it's about overcoming your mistakes. And unfortunately for Teddy, he ran out of time to overcome that last mistake. That's the difference. That's why people's getting on him, because it wasn't as much time left after that interception, But had that interception occurred in the first quarter, we could be having a different conversation, because Teddy would have had enough time to redeem himself at the end, at the end of the game.
You're right.
That's just the timing issue when it came to that. But everything else contributed, as far as that game and us losing. That's what I was trying to say earlier, that it wasn't only Teddy's. It was just, it weighed heavy because of the time of the game. But the other ones, it was cumulative in the first half, and it probably wouldn't have boiled down to that at the end. But the winning and losing that Cincinnati game was evidence that it's a
final thoughts.
It's definitely
isn't final novel. Okay,
it's definitely a team stat, not a quarterback stat. Speech. All right, Steven.
I love you, Crypto.
You got you. It's all good, Steven. That's my final take. I'll just say I hope we win this week, even though I predicted us to lose. But hey, fins up anyways.
Be good, my guy. All right, Miami Sports Music's #1 Miami fan morning show, Clock Blockers, right here on the Miami Sports Music Podcast Network. It has been a day. It has been a day of days, actually. It's been Throwback Thursday, to be exact. So I hope y'all have enjoyed the show today. And if you haven't, I apologize. But I think most of you have. As a matter of fact, all 117 people that are still here, donate $1 to the show. Help the channel grow. I can't grow without your help. Okay? I want to do big things. I want to bring in more people. I want to get videographers. I want to get video editing done. I want to do all this stuff. Need help with that. And it takes money to do that. So please donate to the channel. Help the channel grow. There's a lot of cool things I want to do to upgrade this. And yeah, so I love you guys. You guys are the best fans in the world. I really do mean that. If you, after the show, want to do something, after the show's over, put a comment in the comment box. If you're not a member of the show already, sign up, become a member. Become part of the family. This weekend, Slattery's Midtown Pub live. Let's go. Tomorrow, Spread Kindness Friday. Let's have a big show on Spread Kindness Friday. And then what else do we got? We can go with I don't know what else. I'm exhausted. I don't know why I'm exhausted. I slept ridiculous amount of time yesterday after my if whatchamacallit, if Level 2 Noob is still watching, yes, I did hit 12 over par. We as a group hit 12 over par. Okay. We were the bogey boys yesterday. My body did not like it though. I love you guys. This is Clock Blockers, home of the #1 Miami fan morning show, and you guys are the #1 Miami fans. So we will see you tomorrow. It's F the Jets week. It's Spread Kindness Friday. Let's have a good time tomorrow on the show. We'll see y'all tomorrow. Donate to the channel, please. If you guys don't want to donate up here, you guys can donate on Cash App or PayPal. Less fees come out of there anyway. But we're trying to raise money for the channel. Donate. Everybody right now, donate $1. Let's go. We'll see y'all tomorrow. Peace.
to know the whole city rising. A little early, it's a bit surprising. Business moves, now we enterprising. Switch it up, now we improvising. Go to get in the winter column. Whole squad been trained to go. Fence for life, we throw the foe. Singing this just to welcome bro. Two a time, two a time. Time to grind, time to shine. Two a time, two a time. Two a time, two a time. Two a time, two a time. Time to grind, time to shine. Two a time, two a time. Two a time, two a time. My intuition told me this. To trust the coach, he holds the gift. He knowing when to go with fits. So we knowing when to switch. This year we got the golden pick. Time to see what that pick about. Bad vibes get sent out. Only fans up in this house. We been waiting, yeah, we been patient. Now it's time to cash out, no discount. Super Bowl, yeah, we en route. I don't know when, but it's close. I don't want to overhype, but I just know I like it. So excited, the league gon' know this now. You should know the rise. They say Tua from that rock. Shout out to some more, and now it's time to lay the smack down. You think he Dwayne Johnson? Time to be the people's champ.